Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Danny AFC TV. It is England versus USA on this wonderful Friday evening. As I'm sure you're pretty aware, unless you're blind, Manny is in the building with me as punctual as always. Good evening, Manny. What's good, brother?
Yeah, nothing much, mate. Good to be in your company again. I know I haven't been able to catch many of your videos these days because I've been quite busy working on a few channels doing watch-alongs for theirs, but
No
I
problem.
thought England versus the USA, good time to come back and have a little crack with you. And it just occurred to me, you've been spending quite a few of your streams, mocking Matt Turner with that faux American accent you have, saying he won't be good enough. Well, here's the deal. He's starting tonight. If he has a good game and goes on to have a good tournament, do you sell him for a fee or keep him on as a backup for the Ram?
Um, it depends what you could get if we could sell him. Now, let's just say, right, we bought him for about 7.5. If someone was to double up our money, Manny, as this may sound, I'm looking already for a summer budget. I'm looking at ways that Arsenal could raise Declan Rice money. I'm looking at ways Arsenal could raise Jude Bellingham, probably preferably money. Mudryk has been spoke about, Danilo, all of the rest. So again, I was more talking the casualties of the current crop of players that are there that wouldn't kill Arsenal's chances of. I was talking about the Emil Smith Rowe. I am doubting how many minutes he's going to have from January onwards, Manny. I wish the guy, he's a Hale-end product. I wish him the best of luck at Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? The absolute most astonishing amount of luck. I just can't see with Vieira or Odegaard where he gets his minutes. If they throw him on the wing, I don't think the wing was his best place when I see him there a couple of times last season. On to KT. KT is another one. Clearly is number 2 left back now. The problem is he even number 3 when the big teams come calling? Tommy Yasu filled out at Liverpool. I don't want to get into that. I know we've covered that. But my feeling is if Man City was to come calling, let's just say for argument's sake tomorrow, I wouldn't bet against and Zinchenko wasn't available. I wouldn't bet against Arteta going Tommy Yasu left back and leaving KT on the bench. So it makes me wonder why would we have a guy sort of valued at around us the £25 million mark, at least what we paid for him. Why would we have this guy sort of as our number 3rd left back? We ain't that big to have someone just sat there at 25 mil as our 3rd choice left back. And then on to Lokonga. Lokonga is someone I'd definitely sacrifice. I think we paid about 17.5 for him. I don't think all of this 20-25 mil is accurate. I think we'd end up getting about 10-12 mil for Lokonga if we was to sell the guy. There is talk again of us swapping Lokonga with Rabiot. Rabiot's running out of contract. We know he almost joined Man United. There is talk that Juventus and Arsenal could do a deal in January, taking Lokonga to Juventus and bringing Rabiot to Arsenal. I wouldn't massively be in favour of that. Basically, without giving it to a final point, I would also sell Nketiah as well, bruv. Seriously, the geezer's not impressed. He isn't really the striker. If Jesus has gone 10 games without a row, you could give this geezer 10 games, and I don't think he would go 10 games without a goal. I think he's a touch more clinical. He's a bit of a fox in the box. I'm not sure we play exactly to Nketiah's strength. Now, I'm not saying, is it the pressing? Is it he's just not good enough? Is he not strong enough? I'm not sure. I've never been convinced. And again, I've always wished the guy deep down best of luck every time he comes onto their pitch. Just every time they get the whistle sort of blow, and I kind of sit there thinking, I don't like you, Eddie. So basically, that was more about the players that we could sacrifice, if you like, Manny. The players to sort of, if you like, bring us to the next level. If we could sell Nketiah and get some sort of decent money, perhaps replacing with Balogun. Let's just say Emil Smith Rowe did leave. You could offer Patino, allegedly a very good player. It's a very similar position. He's attacking midfielder. We know he's on loan at Blackpool. He could almost be your in turn replacement there. As for Lokonga, we know Tielemans is a free. We know we're linked with Danilo. And then we've got the more star boys that we probably would hope for, the Declan Rice, the Jude Bellingham. Back to Kieran Tierney. If you was to let him go, bang. There's Ronaldo, left back, 25 years old, Benfica. But back to your original question, as in, would I double up my money theoretically for Turner? Yes, I actually would at this moment. Listen, he's at an age where he's going to be 28 very shortly. And does a 28-year-old goalkeeper want to be playing fiddle to someone younger with respect? And if he's obviously going to be internationally his team's number 1, it could come to a time in a year or so, Manny. It's best for both parties. We kind of get our money back and let Turner do what he's doing. What's your thoughts? Like, there you go. There was literally a 3-minute answer for you.
Well, I would agree with that completely, everything you said. I mean, sadly, if it means Kieran Tierney leaves, the only caveat I have with KT leaving is that he stays till the end of the season and plays
Of course.
a full role in our Europa League campaign. And then if we're able to do well, he can then leave with cheers and thank yous and then go on to a club where he will play and further enhance his reputation. With Turner, here's the thing. I mean, a lot of people, were just scathing in our decision to buy him, saying that his goals against average is absolutely pants, for want of a better word. But
Yeah.
obviously, when it comes to his ability, there is talk about how his ability sort of outshines his tendency to concede a few goals, and also I think Arsenal bought him on the basis of the fact that he was internationally his team's Gold Cup champion keeper, and also MLS goalkeeper of the year with the New England Revolution. Despite I don't think he won any silverware there, but he did get into the semi-finals, I think, and was pretty good, decent quality. So it'll remain to be seen. He is now, for all intents and purposes, the US's first choice. Very harsh on Manchester City's reserve goalkeeper, Zach Steffen, who I thought was perhaps a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And if
Who
Turner has a good...
then? Who is his direct backup? Because I thought this Stefan kid was going to go as well. So who is his backup there?
They've got two backup goalkeepers in Sean Johnson, I think, who's the number 25. I think he's based back in the US. Ethan Horvath, who was at Nottingham Forest, now on loan at Luton Town, is, for all intents and purposes, I think the number 2. He's wearing the number 12 jersey. So for now, it looks as though Turner has no opposition. Turner has only played 4 games for us in the Europa League, and he's done decently in all of them. And in fact, when Rambo came in for our 5th Europa League game, we lost to PSV Eindhoven. Go figure. So maybe Turner was a bit of a good luck charm, and he was certainly, adapting well to our way of pressing, also adapting to the requirements of being able to be good with the ball at his feet. So it might seem facetious, in my opinion, to, sell him after a season, but,
No, wait. I think you're slightly... Go on. No, you're missing my point, as in 28. International wise, he might want to be number 1. I said it might be.
I'm coming to that.
Okay, you're coming to that. Go on.
I'm coming into that. It might be facetious to let him go basically after 1 season, but then it might depend on what he wants. And obviously, if Greg Berhalter seems to be happy with his situation where he's competing with England's number 3, ironically, and also getting some games in the Europa League, in the FA Cup, and the EFL Cup, and also getting more than adequate opportunities to play if Arsenal do qualify for Europe, then maybe that'll settle the matter. He might stay for another season, but maybe 1 more season won't make too much of a difference. But again, if he does earn rave reviews for his performances and other clubs do come in for him, then maybe that could decide to force the issue. My only issue here is that if we sell Turner, we need a backup because we've only got Carl Hayne, and he didn't exactly cover himself with glory in the EFL Cup,
Okuenko, whatever his name is, sorry, I don't want to butcher his name. He's on loan at, I don't know, somewhere like a 2nd division, a Championship 2 team or something. But he's had 3 clean sheets in a row now. Is it Chesterfield or something he's on loan at? Again, I know I've seen him once playing for Arsenal. It was Glasgow Rangers. I believe it was Tavares' debut when he scored Tavares. That was the only time I've seen him. Okuenko, whatever his name is.
Okonkwo.
That's the guy. That's the brother. That's the only time I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt. And I didn't like him at all. I don't know if a season on loan at Chesterfield or wherever he's been has livened him up, but allegedly he's meant to be a very good goalkeeper. I'm going to jump into a few comments for a minute. Lindo, good evening. Lumberkamp, what are you saying, my G? Right, what's this one? I had high hopes for Eddie, but doesn't seem like he's going to click in the Premier League. For me, brother, I bet he will be a fantastic, and I know this is going to be rude, he reminds me of, I know Mitrovic, yeah? He's now getting it, and we've discussed Mitrovic before on the stream, so it's going to be a strange one. But I think a couple of seasons in the Championship, banging in goals, then he'll eventually come up with one of these Championship teams, like the Nketiah. Don't do well in the Premier League, get relegated, come back, and then one of your middle-of-the-road teams, when he's about 27, 28, will buy him in the Premier League, and he'll be a half-decent striker. I just feel he's just not ready yet, and he needs a couple of seasons in the Championship. I just don't think he's got that quality. He's a good striker. If someone can invest 38 games a season for Eddie Nketiah, I'm sure he's a good striker. I think we're a little bit above that. Good evening, Craig. Football versus soccer. Oh, Manny's on his foot. I just realised what's going on. I just realised. I'll carry on in the comments. Manny, shouts out to you, bro. Yes, Linda, me too. Come on, the Three Lions. Football versus, innit? Handball. Let's have some handball around here. Look at Pickford raising his chest. Kane looking all very relaxed, guys. Guys, do be getting the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. Manny is here with us today. I shall be back at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. live, obviously. I'll set that stream momentarily. Should I jump up for the USA anthem now? Should I jump up for the USA anthem? Manny, I've lost you. I've lost you. Yo.
Yep,
No
I'm
sound.
mute. I'm mute. Can
All
you
right,
hear
there
me
you
now?
go. There you go. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So listen, we stood up for God Save the King. We don't need to stand up for the Star Spangled Banner, but I will mute it.
I love it. I think I just predicted Eddie's. Bro, I think you just predicted Eddie's whole career. Either that or he gets to Palace or Brighton. Yes. Why do I always accuse Brighton or Palace being the two teams that's going to sign him? I have this feeling as well, bro. Shouts out to you, Bergkamp. West Ham, bit of West Ham, you know what I mean? Palace or Brighton. West Ham, Palace or Brighton. I've always had a feeling of these three teams, but yeah, mate. I don't know. I think he needs to, like Mitrovic, he's going to have to go to a Fulham when they're relegated because Mitrovic will leave Fulham. Go to Fulham, get them promoted, score 3 goals in the Premier League season, get relegated again, smash it in the Championship, come back. By that time, he should be 25, 26, and he might be ready for his first good season in the Premier League. I'm on the innocent juice today, guys. Hey, UE, how you doing, bro? You join us just in time for the American anthem, y'all. The new Era Cup anthem. Bro, should go to MLS. He'd be the new Bradley.
Well, the anthem has just finished, so I just want to know how many seconds you are behind me because the teams are now shaking their hands. I see Tyler Adams and Matt Turner coming to greet Harry Kane and company. So where are you now?
I'm on an ad break. I was watching via the BBC, I'm not going to lie. So let's just have a look at other links real quick while we're on an ad break.
Okay, so it is more or less a 4-3-3. The television displays as a 4-1-2-3 with Declan Rice playing that central defensive midfield anchor role and Bellingham and Mount on the side. And then, of course, Sterling, Kane and Saka. And, of course, we have the bench. Maddison, sadly, is still injured, so he wouldn't have come in today. I would have loved to have seen him come in today instead of maybe Mount and maybe Walker to come in because Mount can take the set pieces, but obviously that wouldn't happen. So it'll be Trippier again to take the corners and free kicks, which I don't mind, really. He's good. UE, big up to you as well. I'm sure that...
Hold on, sorry. I was just looking at that. Yeah, basically, let me end that on Nketiah, bro. He would be levels in the MLS. Exactly. Bradley White, Wright Phillips. Seriously, he would be the new record breaker. If Eddie Nketiah went to America, that's it, bros. You know what I mean? Decent striker, bros. That's his level. The amount of people USA and England have killed is a lot more than Guatar's. I hear you, brother. Good evening, UE. And hashtag equality. Indeed, bro. Indeed. Our very own John Motson. Here we go. Is that for Mr. Manny? Right, Pickford, sure we are as we were. Sorry, Maguire, Stones, Trippier, Bellingham, Rice, Mount, Sterling, Kane, Saka, and then you got the whole world of English players on the bench. I wonder how Mason Mount. I mean, my God, I forgot the Leicester boy's name. Madison. How fit is he? America exactly.
Still injured. I just caught it.
Still injured. It's funny, the guy doesn't touch him for 2 years and he brings him into a major tournament and he's injured. Interesting. Doesn't touch him for 2 years.
If he recovers in time for Wales, I think he will get a run out. I'm sure. Because remember, Saka was not used in the first 2 games of the Euros. He was brought in for the third and then Southgate kept him in. And so Saka could very well be a contender for the Golden Boot this tournament, which might be exciting.
Cool, yeah, definitely see how he gets on. Gets on tonight. Let's see if he can bang one.
21 goals for Christian Pulisic, and you know they're just about to start. I believe England will be kicking off. It will be Mason Mount in the centre who will start proceedings. Are they taking
a right with you at the moment? I'm in the centre circle.
Excellent. So yeah, so it is
Mason Mount. Are we taking a knee? Are we taking a knee?
Yes, they're taking a knee, and that's a fine sight to see.
And rough, yeah. Off and running.
And running. So Mason Mount passes it back to what looks like John Stones, who will get that to Maguire. Back to Stones, of course. Stones and
what do you think of this England central defensive partnership so far? Yes, we know it was Iran. They did concede 2. Yes, we're not saying Iran ain't capable of scoring. Hashtag go and ask Wales. Shouts out to Iran. But England's defensive partnership, first of all, what do you think? Obviously, there's no point saying the fat boy from City's coming in. I reckon he's going to walk straight back into the team as well. No minutes for Ben White. Any thoughts?
I would have liked to have seen Connor Cody possibly come in if Maguire wasn't fit, and Zimmerman passes it back to
Yep.
Turner, who sort of shanks that away for a throw in. Um, I mean, obviously there would have been a doubt over Maguire if he had a bit of a concussion against Iran, but I think he seems to
Oh,
be
wow.
okay, back in good condition, and he seems to be all right. And of course, as Southgate's golden child, he starts along with Luke Shaw, who takes the throw in, passes that to Declan Rice, but that ball is now lost, and the USA can break away. And we
Sorry,
might
Manny.
be into
Yes,
some
it is on
controversy.
ITV Lundberg Camp. It is. It is. And why wouldn't PlayStation have it? Interesting. Sorry, Manny. As you was, brother. As you was. I was just replying to
Nah, it's
Lundberg
all
Camp.
right. Back pass there from Kieran Trippier to Pickford, who sends that a little bit long. Not long enough, though. That's headed back in by Tim Ream. And obviously, no, that was Zimmerman who headed that back in. My bad. But obviously, the fact that the US have a lot of players who have experience playing in the Premier League, they should, in theory, know how most of these players play. I'm looking at the likes of Ream and Robinson, and obviously with Fulham, and of course Tyler Adams and Brendan Aronson with Leeds United. Don't forget who else? Pulisic, obviously with
Where's
Chelsea.
Sergio Dest? Is he still banging around in Barcelona's reserves? Or
No,
did he
mate,
get a loan?
he's gone to AC Milan on loan. He's banging it over there, and he's
Oh,
into
is
the
he?
second stage. He's into the second stage of the Champions League, while Barcelona are fighting for their Europa League lives against Manchester United afterwards. So he
That's
dodged a
going to be a
bullet
damn
and
good
a
game.
half. And that is, of course, Tim Ream, who was set on his way, but that has, of course, been blocked. Zimmerman will now pass it back to Turner. And Arsenal keeper Turner against Tottenham striker Kane. And Turner wins that battle easily.
Respect you,
McKennie
E.
now.
You, E. You're the man. Respect my brother. Thank you, RB. Talking of RB, Yanni, bros. Yanni's he's quoted me some really good prices on some pictures, bros. Shame it weren't the price when I went to get that very good picture there. But yeah, he's designed. It says basically just YouTube Danny AFC TV. It's going to be lit up in blue just like that, and it should complete my walkout quite nicely.
The thing is, I remember you showed me a few of the options. I actually like the second one, which had Danny AFC TV and the YouTube icon. So
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
was the
too
one. Yeah,
sure. Are you sure?
that's the one. That's the one I'm going for. Yeah, this is the one I'm
Okay.
choosing, money. Let me show you. That's spot on. That's absolutely spot on, money. Yes, your memory is absolutely on point. This one here, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That looks good. That looks good. That looks good.
There was this option.
No. What I'm? Yeah. Okay. There was a second option I remember where I believe you had the Canon as well with Danny AFC TV.
No, well, I don't remember that one myself. These are the last three. Maybe that was some images you sent a few weeks ago. I've obviously been looking at it the last couple of days, thinking how do I complete the wall? But that's a story for a different day. Shouts out to you, E. Big up, Manny. Hashtag be in the sports. Love it.
Yeah,
Absolutely love it.
I enjoy doing some commentary whenever I can, and obviously when you grow up listening to John Motson and Brian Moore, there's a part of you that thinks, "Oh, I'd really love to try that job. It looks wonderful." But the most important thing is getting the player's name spot on. And if you make a mistake, you're in trouble. But the
Yeah,
commentators do
most
have it
definitely.
easy because they're actually hooked up to a computer where they see the players' names as they have the ball, so that's their job easier for them. And you can just imagine how they used to do it back in the day, the likes of John Helm and several others. They had it tough, but it would be
Yeah,
a nice
their
gig.
knowledge as well. I wouldn't say there was as Google fired up and everything. Their knowledge would have to have been just pretty much spot on from their head. Good point. Good point.
Exactly. I mean,
Not
commentators
me,
in
it's
the
me at
day,
age
they knew
commentator.
they knew their stuff. They knew their stuff. Trippier
Most
now
definitely.
at right back and trying to thread it through to Kane.
Where are
And
you minute
Kane
wise,
is
Manny?
being
Where are you at? Where you at? I think we're literally bang on, but where are you at?
4:40, 41, 42.
Literally 4:46. So yeah, we're spot on today for once. Absolutely spot on.
You're actually a second or two ahead of me,
Yeah,
but
literally,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care. Potato. I don't care.
Yeah, no, it's only a
And
second. So yeah, for me, that's absolutely fine. It ain't a massive
that's fine.
30
And
second
because,
gap in celebrating
whenever I've done
goals.
streams with a lot of the UK-based YouTubers, I've been more or less on their time. We've been spot on. So I think this is the international feed, which works in the UK. I've done some watch-alongs with a channel based in South Africa. That poor fellow would be about 5 seconds behind me, but it wouldn't be a
Okay.
big problem anyway. So at least we're sort of on the same page, and I can sort of speak. And John Stone's still holding on to the ball. So England haven't really had many chances now, and I think the defence deserves credit for not letting the likes of Saka and Sterling get into the game too much, and that is carelessly given away
Yeah, that was
by
nice. Yeah.
Maguire, I think. Yeah. So this is the problem I have with Maguire. Obviously, when he's at his best, he's a fine defender, but he is prone to moments of sloppiness. And I have to say that if I were Connor Cody, I'd be saying to him, "Look, I know you. Look, Southgate. I know you value my leadership qualities and my ability to be a sort of an off-field leader, but look, I'm Everton captain. I've been in form. I want to play. Stick me back there. I can do a better job than your boy Maguire."
There
Goes to
you
an
go.
Italian goes to an Italian restaurant and has baked beans with soft boiled eggs and toasted soldiers. Who does he think he is?
Tell me about it. Any case for Ben White to be in this England team for you?
Look, he's played for Arsenal as a right back and done well, but when we've got Walker and Trippier, how do you fit him in? And why would you want to shoehorn him in as a centre back when he hasn't played as a centre back all season?
There you go. But I still don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Right back's not his position for me. I still don't like Ben White at right back. He's all right. He's all right.
Yeah, well, a lot of people will vouch for the fact that he did play more than a few games at right back for Brighton. A nice header back by Tim
Did
Ream
he?
to Matt Turner. Yeah, apparently a lot of fans will testify to that. A lot of Albion fans, and that
I
is
can't
with
say it's
Walker
anything
Zimmerman.
Iverson, but I suppose I've never been
Yeah,
stalking Ben White too much in his career, so it's going to be a tough one for me to
yeah,
answer. But
yeah,
interesting.
and yeah. The nice thing about both teams tonight is that I'm able to recognize their shirt numbers, and the US have got it really spot on with their jerseys. They've got the numbers really big and bold, and you can see who they are. And that is Tyler Adams, who passes it over to Walker Zimmerman, just keeping the ball in their half. It's with Tim Ream now. And it's along the left to Anthony Robinson, his Fulham teammate, who can't keep that in play, surely, and he doesn't.
Right.
So,
Tyler Adams, let's talk about this. Hold on. This guy, wasn't he linked with Arsenal a season or two ago?
not that I would remember, I'm afraid.
Right.
And
Hold on. All right. Here's another one then. Or I really am getting the wrong player. I mixed him up with somewhere else. This guy used to play at right back for his former team. I'm wondering how he's turned into a central midfielder all of a sudden. Who did he play for before Leeds? Germany?
Tyler Adams, right? Let me just look that up for you right now. So
it was either like Salzburg in Austria or something, or like Germany, man. Where did they go? I'm sure he was a right back, and he was linked with us.
Okay. Yeah, so hold on. I'm just getting onto Tyler Adams right now. Born in Wappinger, New York, and current captain of the US team, is 34th cap tonight for the US, I think. And began his career, obviously, with the New York Red Bull system, the second team, and then the first team. Then was at RB Leipzig for 3 seasons.
That's them. Hold on. There you go. RB Leipzig. I knew he was in Germany or somewhere. I was like, hold on.
Austria. Yeah, Germany.
Austria, yeah. I said Austria. Austrian. I knew he was in 1 or 2. Now, look at his position for me. I'm certain on this. I know it's the same guy now. Now that you've already said enough for me. He was a right back, bros. We're linked with him. He was going to be Arsenal's next right back. It was when Hector Bellerin was kind of out of form. I remember this a few years ago, man. Does anyone else not remember Tyler Adams, the right back being linked with Arsenal, who played for RB Leipzig? He was a right back, man. I'm certain of it.
It wouldn't have been Adams, I'm sure of that, because his positioning is listed as a midfielder. And I'm certain that the Leipzig coach, he actually was with Jesse Marsch at Leipzig, okay? And then Leipzig to Leeds.
Was that Mason
alive. Now, we're going to take a look at that. And obviously, the fact that it just goes to show you can't leave your screen for a minute. Some excellent work there. I believe that was Bellingham with that ball, and Zimmerman there with that crucial block. Yeah, Saka over there doing some brilliant work, teeing it up for Kane on a plate. But Zimmerman, he doesn't have a Zimmer frame, and that has kept his side in the game.
Huh. Nice.
And it's Trippier right now who will take that corner. So I don't believe that he was a right back, because Jesse Marsch would never have used him as a right back. And now he's still with Jesse Marsch at Leeds and is very much a central midfielder. So no, it wouldn't have been him.
I'm sure it's him.
And Stones over there leaning over Robinson, trying to get the header in. And Maguire keeps it in play. He's still running hard and still running through, trying to get it to Sterling. But that is blocked away. And that is high, long, and not very pretty at all. So Maguire seeming to shake off that little knock he sustained against Iran.
Oh, beautiful. Look at this.
Very well indeed.
on the wing. Look at him. He almost tripped over himself, the big mug. All respect,
Well, yeah.
His left
Look,
leg started giving it all. He started giving himself a little jig there. What's going on?
yeah, look, baked beans are good for you, but you do not take them to an Italian restaurant and eat them up, for crying out loud. Do it on your own time. You go out with your friends to a nice restaurant, partake in the cuisine and the culture.
I can see Zinnerman. I do believe he is the only player that actually plays in the MLS. I reckon he'll get a move straight away. He's looked all right. The first game for USA against Wales. I don't know, like Alexi Lalas. Remember him? Alexi Lalas will get a move to Italy somewhere.
Well, he did concede the penalty, and actually, let me take a look here. No, he's not. There are several players who actually play in the MLS.
Who plays in the MLS in this current 11? Who plays in the MLS in this current 11?
Let me take a look right now. 1, 2, 3,
I can't see one, literally.
Nashville FC for Zimmerman.
Ray doesn't play. The other striker, Wright, plays in Turkey. Adams plays in the Premier League. Musa plays in Valencia. What other? McKenzie plays at Juventus, so that's me covered the midfield.
Oh yeah, from the starting 11, you're right. It is Zimmerman who plays for Nashville SC, but there are several other squad members who play in the MLS. Aaron Long,
so with respect, I probably won't really know them. With love and respect.
Yeah, and then of course Christian. Yeah, I mean some of them are fairly well-known names. DeAndre Yedlin, very experienced, back at Inter Miami, and he of course
plays for Newcastle. That dude played for Newcastle and Totty.
Yes, I do remember, and he is, of course, now back in the US, and he's the only member of the 2014 squad under Jurgen Klinsmann who is still playing for the national team.
What's good, Carl? What are you saying, brother? England 0, USA 0, 12 minutes gone. Pretty quiet. One chance for Kane so far. That was a bit rubbish as well.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if Southgate were to bring on Rashford reasonably quickly, certainly not in the 70th minute, but hopefully in the 60th minute or maybe even earlier if Kane proves to be ineffective. And
I think Grealish obviously would like to think he'll be coming on as well somewhere sensibly, 65th, 70th minute.
Yep. A replacement for Saka, no doubt about it. And Zimmerman now.
Why not from Mount? I don't get it with Mount, bro. Seriously, it annoys me sometimes. He's a good player, bro. I get it, but I don't know. And
yeah, I mean, obviously
Sterling scored as well, but Sterling is, I don't know, he's been so rubbish this season for me. He's clearly got his favourites as Mr. Southgate, man. I don't know. I'll never have started his stuff.
Listen. Here's the thing. Some of these players may be rubbish at their clubs, but when they put on an international jersey, they're supermen. I mean, until today, you could have said the same about poor Wayne Hennessy, but that, high kung fu tackle had to be punished with a red card. I felt for the poor fella. He did really well, and Danny Ward.
Yeah. Adams away. The Leeds man.
Yep. Adams there earning himself an apple.
Yeah, I can't lie. He has caught my eye, man. He's pretty high energy. Him and Weston McKenzie, they seem to try and lock the door.
Yeah, Musa also could get into the game. I'm sure he'll be motivated too because don't forget he's a former England youth international. Trippier trying to lay it through to Saka there, and can Saka get that? Yes, he can. And now he's being double teamed at the moment by both Zimmerman and Pulisic, who is back defending, and Turner can claim that. So. Yeah,
Matt. I forgot about Matty. Hey, Matt. Go on, Matt.
You love taking the mickey, don't you?
I fucking love it, man. Seriously. Hey, Matty. Are you Arsenal's number 1 and number 2, bro? Don't worry, we'll leave that for later on. Who's up in the place? Rodney's in the place. Good evening, Rodney. What's your score prediction, bros? We know you like the score prediction. I think he went 4-1 the other day. It was 6-1 or 6-2, sorry. Guys, what's your predictions? After the first 14, basically 15 minutes, I'm going 1-0 England. It's going to be that. I'm going to go the same, but I said it'll be 1-0 England versus Iran, a 79th minute penalty from Kane. Bang, I'm going to get it right sometimes. Good law of average, isn't it? I'm going 1-0 again. Kane, 79th minute penalty.
No, for me, there will be more goals in this. I'm going for England to win it 2-1, but it will be quite tight. England's goals will come from Jack Grealish and Marcus Rashford, substitutes.
Wow, the substitutes again, it says Manny. 3-1 from Rodders. Interesting. Anyone else want to jump in on that? Please hit the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if we is new. I will be back at 10 p.m. I will have to set a stream. In fact, I'll do that in a moment. I'll do that in a quick little minute. Manny can take over for me. I'll have a look at just one thing.
Sure. Okay, so if you're busy, I'll just watch the commentary right now with Sterling in the penalty area, trying to. Shaw's over there trying to make something happen. A nice little through pass, but straight through to Matt Turner, who's certainly been very clean and crisp with his handling at Arsenal and now in this World Cup. No complaints there. And it is Robinson away, passing it to Christian Pulisic down the left, trying to move back in. Crossfield pass over there to McKennie with that rather uniquely dyed hair. If there's a header, which was in the end wide, but now we see Haji Wright coming into the team. He, of course, replacing Josh Sargent. We see just how good he can be when it comes to getting into these positions.
Yeah, Josh Sargent, I wasn't sure the Norwich striker, man. I was kind of surprised. I kind of said who was America's strikers, and when I see Timmy Weah and Sargent, I was like, huh. But obviously Weah or Ray, whichever way you want to pronounce it, kind of shut me up. But that was brilliant work by Pulisic that got that goal versus Wales, man. Seriously, 2-2 from Kyle. Interesting, 2-2. Obviously, I think a draw. It keeps everyone in the group slightly alive, isn't it? If England wins tonight, it's self-explanatory. They're through. Yeah, I think Qatar are the only team to actually officially be out so far, aren't they?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I mean, the US will obviously want to try and get a good result tonight because they will hopefully be banking on beating Iran. But then that's not going to be easy given how well Iran played today. And Carlos Queiroz certainly had his team motivated to improve on their performance against England. And once again, if you take a look at the possession stats, England have had twice the possession. They've been all over the US right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how Berhalter, plays this because, McKennie, Adams, and Musa had a whale of a time against Wales.
Yeah.
Against England, they might be, not so into it because obviously England had been given an edict to make sure they pick up where they left off against Iran and keep pressing and pressing and pressing. But the US's best hope could be to try and catch them on the counterattack. And obviously, the way their midfield moves so quickly and seamlessly, they should have a good chance of doing it. So far, Dest hasn't quite come into the game, but you assume that when he does, if he does, he will be very dangerous.
Indeed. And you wonder about England's fullbacks, as you say, Shaw, Trippier. I don't know. They're all right, man, but they don't exactly light the whole world up for me, let's say. I wonder. But anyway, it's only USA at the moment, with all respect, and we'll see later on in the tournament, I will suspect. Anyway, see if England can get this moving. 18 minutes on the clock, still 0-0. A bit quiet. England obviously dominating possession-wise without terrorising USA, let's say. Oh my gosh, was that Trippier? Who was that?
It was Trippier.
It was Trippier, of course it was. Deary me. Big up, Manny. The scientist.
The way you say that, it tells me that you're not really too impressed with his capabilities as a defender.
No, not really. Do you know what? He's done well at Newcastle. I'll give him his props at Newcastle. He seems to pop up, as you say. Maybe it is the free kicks I'm noticing and the little the dead ball situations. But I don't know. He seems to have been all right for Newcastle so far, isn't it? They're third, isn't it? They're not complaining of the way he's defending. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, because obviously they've got Sven Botman in the centre of the defence who's done well, and there's competition for the left-back slot between Dan Burn and Matt Targett. So obviously the defence is a team effort, and they do love Trippier's attacking instincts. They made him captain,
Newcastle did, yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Pulisic now down the centre, trying to find Timothy Weah, which he does. And there's Dest now, who has overlapped and not too sure what he was trying to do there. And you see Pickford now moving his wrist, clearly apoplectic with his wide defenders for letting that go through. So there is some debate as to whether Pickford is actually, really world class. I would say he's probably the best all-round goalkeeper of the three we've got in our squad. Ramsdale is the best distributor. Nick Pope is the better shot stopper. But Nick Pope is, I think he proved in those two Nations League matches that he is absolutely awful with his feet. And as for the Ram, well, we may love him at Arsenal, but when he played for England against Hungary at Molineux, he was pants, to say the very least.
There you go. And that's what I said. It'll be interesting if for a month of a season, and obviously again it's impossible, but if you swapped roles like Pickford at Arsenal and Ramsdale at Everton, see Everton get peppered every game, and Ramsdale ends up being the guy that kind of saves them quite a lot of the times, clearly. Where at Arsenal, it seems to be sometimes it's just 1 or 2 shots in a game Ramsdale might have, and do you know what I mean? It's about keeping yourself alert for 90 minutes. They've got very different roles to play at their clubs respectively, so it's got to be a difficult decision for a manager, like seriously.
Yeah, but that's not really necessarily true, the case, though, because let's take a look at David Seaman, for instance. He was our goalkeeper for several years. He'd stay quiet for about 89 minutes, and then when it was needed of him, he'd pull off a worldie, and that's how it worked with England. So I'm not going to say that Ramsdale is in any way of that ilk. No way. Because although he does also have the ability to pull off some terrific saves, James Maddison at the King Power Stadium, in case people forget, his decision-making last season was not really of the best. And this season, I'm sure the jury will be out when he comes up against the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United in the return games. So, yeah. I mean, certainly not since David Seaman have England really had a really good quality goalkeeper. Hart had a bit of promise, but he never really delivered. And Pickford has the advantage of being a part of a team that has been doing really well. His contribution to that has been minimal so far. He's never really, dominated a game for England, as it were. But anyway, it's immaterial because now it's in the defense that we're trying to make something happen, and that's a pass through to Mount. And Mount, seeing that attempt at a through pass intercepted by Adams. Trippier once again with the throw, taking his time. And who does he find?
Someone move for him. Someone move.
Yeah, get yourselves in position, boys. I see Declan Rice coming in. And Rice and Grealish, of course, as you know, Danny, could have played for Ireland, but instead went to England. And apparently Roy Keane is still seething about that. I'm sure you don't have time for Keane anyway, given his status as a so-called legend of Manchester United and the fact that he was Vieira's nemesis for so many years. But do you agree with him? What goes around comes around. Musiala and Musa not playing for England?
Not so much what goes around comes around. It just makes me wonder again. So again, how did they get through the ropes? Like seriously, Musiala, as far as I know, should be playing for
Sterling now against Dest, and Dest winning that battle. And you can see right now with the way the US are defending that they're tight and they've coalesced around each other, and they're very positionally sound, so they know. And coming back to what you said, yes, Musa.
As for Grealish and Declan Rice, though, yeah, they didn't really want to be toughing it up with Republic of Ireland every campaign. Like they wanted something more realistic of winning something. Like they chose England because of that. That's pretty much as simple as that, I do reckon.
Yeah, but in the case of Rice, who played a few friendlies for Ireland, I mean, you'd like to think that at least he would have. Because here's the thing, I mean, maybe Ireland don't have too much of a chance of winning anything, but when it comes to squad harmony and team harmony, all of these teams like Wales and the Republic of Ireland, to some extent maybe Scotland and Northern Ireland, because not much is expected of them, you sort of get the idea that the unity will be a lot higher. I get the feeling that, with the favoritism being displayed by Southgate, there will be more than a few cliques in the team. I mean, I know we're shown all of these videos where everything is hunky-dory and they're all a bunch of happy chappies, but there's always more to it than meets the eye, yeah?
In saying that, actually, I think Roy Keane, I do remember, he got sent home from a World Cup, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, 20 years and a few months ago to the day. The bugger had really? Yeah, I mean, look, Mick McCarthy told him to shut his gob and not give any interviews to the press because he knew that as bad as things were in Saipan, when they moved to their World Cup base in Izumo, Japan, things would be better. But Keane thought he was bigger than the team. He gave those stupid interviews to Tom Humphries and Paul Kimmage. McCarthy confronted him on it. Keane called him every single bad name in the book, and that's Moose in the penalty area, passing it out to Serginho Dest, trying to create something.
Mackenzie.
Yeah, McKennie. So clearly McKennie thinks he's playing NFL football instead of World Cup football, you see.
That's the American, y'all. He was aiming high, y'all, like America.
Yeah, I mean, if he had kept it along a sort of lower, he might have troubled Pickford there, or maybe not, because that was effectively a tame shot, which you expect a goalkeeper like Pickford to save. But then, as I said, McCarthy confronted Keane. Keane called him every name in the book, effing and blinding everywhere, and McCarthy said, "Well, son, pack your bag, you're going home." And he gave up. He lost his chance of captaining Ireland in a World Cup. And he also wasn't able to captain Manchester United in the Champions League final, all because of his ego and temper. What a plonker.
I think he loves you as well, Manny, by the way. I'm just saying from Roy Keane's point of view, if he was listening to this right now. Fuck that guy. What does he know about me? Fuck him. Anyway, I got loads today. Excellent. I know, Limbs. Excellent. Right. 26 on the clock, Manny. What's going on here? We're talking about Roy Keane and Ireland. So that means England have to up the tempo.
Well, I mean, England have tried. I mean, both teams are huffing and puffing and unable to blow the house down because of some tough USA defending and some American profligacy in front of goal.
McKennie, he's kind of broken into the Juve team. They were saying he was going to leave Juve at the start of the season. He's kind of been playing the last couple of months before obviously the World Cup started. Yeah, he's been playing.
And take a look at the marking over there. What was Trippier doing? And certainly someone else could have. And a free kick over there. You see, Trippier could potentially be a defensive liability. Wouldn't mind bringing him off for Kyle Walker and possibly bringing on someone who can take a good free kick and play some of the midfielders. You know, Saka does have a good left foot on him. He can take a few free kicks. And a foul there against the Fulham left back, Anthony Robinson. It is Zimmerman without the Zimmer frame who takes that short pass to Dest, then a pass back from Zimmerman to Turner, Turner to Ream, and Kane is lurking over there.
Shouts out to Matty Turner, y'all.
So Kane is just not able as of yet.
Lord Bergkamp, what are you saying? Without the ego and the temper, Roy Keane wouldn't have been the player he was. I actually agree with that quite massively. That was a lot. There was just a lot of bite every time he come up against Vieira. But similar to Vieira, if anyone ever troubled like Dennis Irwin or Ryan Giggs, or you kicked him in the penalty box or something, Keane would come charging over and make it his business. He'd come flying over from the corner flag. What you doing? Bang, and start throwing people. What happened
Yunus Musa now, and that is deflected straight through to Pickford.
The former Arsenal Academy product.
Yunus Musa? Let me take a look and see that.
No, you don't have to take a look, brother. That's absolutely factual, mate. You know anything coming to do with Arsenal? I thought you missed that earlier when I said, bros, how did Arsenal let this geezer go? We had him from 2012 to 2019. We didn't play him.
We did. You're absolutely right. And then he moved to
like 8 seasons, bro. We had the geezer for like 8 years. Brother, come on, you should know I don't get nothing Arsenal wrong. But yeah, Musa, we had him for too many years, and he just pissed off to Valencia for pretty much nothing, as far as I know. And now
he didn't piss off, mind you. He didn't get a game to play. Valencia were interested in him, and then they took him on. And then after a year in the youth team, he played a few games for the B team, and then had a quick promotion to the A team, and he's been enjoying himself since. So
I call that pissing off, but okay.
It sort of goes back to your point, as you said, about how we let so many players slip through the cracks. I mentioned Serge Gnabry. Obviously, everybody knows who Serge Gnabry is, but Musa, well, you're right. He definitely was. He would have been good for us. And
well, he's 19. He's got 21, 22, 23 caps for USA. He's only 19 years old. I'm wondering if we had him for 8 years. Like, what made us just like think, yeah, sweet, let him go to Valencia? Like,
I think again, it might be favoritism. There might have been too many more players in his position with similar levels of ability. He didn't see a chance of being able to break.
It must have been early Arteta as well. I'm not sure. This is not definite, but it must have been early Lego Man. I'm sure this is something to do with Lego Man. My mate Arteta.
Yes. Because no, wait. It was in 2019, and that was before Arteta joined. So Arteta had nothing to do with that.
So who sold Musa? What do you mean? Because listen,
Emery
sold Musa.
Well, it had to be because he was there with us until 2019. Remember, and then when he got sacked, Youngberg.
Yeah, what date did Arteta actually take over? Was it early
January 2020?
Early 20.
It was Emery who was still at Arsenal when Musa left to Valencia. And I think maybe it was Emery who decided to let him go because Emery coached at Valencia as one of his many clubs were coming to Arsenal.
He
So
stitched
maybe he
us up.
said, Eunice,
Wow, he
maybe
stitched us
playing
up. Emirates
maybe in
stitched us up.
maybe playing in Spain will do you a world of good, and it did him a world of good. It didn't do us very much good. And the only problem is, like, listen, I wish Musa well because even now, if you were to consider trying to get him in at Arsenal, where would he slot in? He seems to be. He doesn't play in the centre of midfield, so he's certainly more of a somewhat an attacking midfielder. I don't see him as a defensive midfielder by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you see the way he runs. That little boy is an absolute dynamo. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I see him at 19 with over 20 caps for his country, bruv. He couldn't have been dog shit at Arsenal. This is the question I'm asking. Maybe you've miss sort of wondered what I'm saying. He's 19,
No.
bro. Yeah, and
I
I'm
haven't.
wondering
I don't.
what actually went wrong. Like, was it a contract situation when he was 16? Obviously, it's missed me somewhere along the line until I realised when I start. As soon as I seen the USA squad, I'm sure was I doing a stream with you. I was like, Musa, this name rings a bell. Then I googled it and found out he was at Arsenal for like 8 seasons.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, this fellow was actually born in New York, so he had American birth citizenship, so he could have played anyway. But then
Yeah.
at the age of 9,
Same as
he moved to
Balogun, though.
London.
Balogun was born in America.
I think so.
Balogun.
Yeah. So Musa moved to London and joined the academy. And according to Trevor Bumstead, the Arsenal under-16 coach, he made an immediate impression. Terrific physical attributes, the drive and determination to go with that. But then in the summer of 2019, he joined Valencia. And that was at the end of Emery's first full season because I think he wanted to focus more on developing a few more of the Hale End boys, obviously, like Joe Willock.
Hey, here's one for you, Manny. I was at the Stevenage Arsenal under 21s the other day, yeah?
Yeah.
There was one kid for the whole 90 minutes that caught my name. What is his name? Where was the team sheet? Where am I going to find this in my damn phone? Give me a second, Manny. He was number 43 on the night, and he's lightning quick. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out for this kid, man, because he was really good. We got beat by Stevenage 3-2, but this geezer looked, I don't know, he looked brilliant at times without like overdoing it. Where is the Stevenage lineup? Where could this be?
Well, I'm sure he might be as good as Christian Pulisic, who just hit the bar there. That explains my reflection of voice.
Listen to me seriously, yeah, guys. Everyone on this, no, guys, listen to me on this stream, yeah. This kid that I'm talking about, hold on, is called Nathan Butler Odieji. Nathan Butler Oyedeji. Nathan Butler Oyedeji. I'm going to say Nathan Butler Oyedeji. Guys, I've watched him once, 190 minutes of football at Stevenage Borough of all places, where the toilet was the size of, I don't know, someone's living room, and it stunk of piss like one of the world's worst pubs that you've ever been into in your life. But that aside, it wasn't so bad. Bigging up Stevenage. And but yeah, the number 43 on the night, Nathan Butler Oyedeji. The guy run the whole game, like literally for the 90 minutes, guy, mate. He was a threat. It's hard to say how far he could be away from first team. I don't even know his age. It was the under 21s, obviously. So I'd say he's of age. He must be 17, 18, 19. But the kid, I don't know his goal scoring record. Again, I went to the Stevenage game the other day. The guy looks incredible. Like, I don't know. As far as you want to talk about Nketiah and Balogun, man, this boy is going to be asking questions to people like them too. If they're the only things we've got going on in the next 6 months to a year, this boy's got to be knocking the door. Mate, I can eye a footballer from a mile away, yeah? And especially at the stadium, this kid was the only guy on the pitch, yeah? The only guy. This was Stevenage's first team versus Arsenal under 21s. The only person on the whole pitch that caught my eye was the same kid. He was about this high. He's about my height. He's short, the little fucker. Sprinting everywhere, mate, like a geezer, running everywhere. Yeah, bigging up Nathan, innit? He looks like one fuck of a talent. There's the first time I swore today. Bollocks. Second. So either way, I reckon he was destined never to play in the World Cup if you deep it. Hold on, who are we talking about? Soylent Bergkamp. I've obviously gone a little bit ahead of myself with that. You got Roy Keane. If you never heard. Oh, we're talking about Roy Keane, I do believe. Would you say, Manny? We're talking about Roy Keane still?
No, he already played in 1994, and that was enough for him.
That's what I thought, yeah. But I thought, yeah.
I take Liam Bergkamp's point when he says that obviously without the ego and temper, he wouldn't be the player he was.
Smart
take
TV, and I can't even watch. Sorry,
yeah.
that's brilliant,
So,
brilliant. What's
yeah,
fucking smart about it? Give me fucking ITV. What's going on?
yeah,
Oh no,
exactly. Shaw now down the left, and surely you can see England getting into the swing of it. Nice
what's
little
going on here?
backfill there by Bellingham, and
Techers.
yeah.
Mason, I don't like you, boy. That's why I don't like you. There you go. It's one of our own. Why not Lundberg? Yeah, why not? I don't get it. I can't be fucking too smart, can it,
And
Lund?
Pulisic running at that, but Stones is able to, cut that off. And I don't know if you saw that chance, but Pulisic actually was able to evade two of the defenders and get a shot, which beat Pickford all ends up, but thankfully the crossbar saved him.
Wait,
So,
brothers, I don't do TV aerials either. I do boxes. Leave it out.
yeah. And
Just
look,
saying, sir.
back to Ljungbergham's point. Look, I take his point when he says that Roy Keane wouldn't have been the player he was without his ego and his temper. But when you have the responsibility of being a captain, especially captain of your country, sometimes you've got to, tone down your stuff and not be so in your face all the time and be a little bit more of a diplomat. I'm sorry, but that's sort of the way it works.
I
And
totally hear you, but being Irish and remembering this kind of scenario, I always remember coming out of it disliking Mick McCarthy more. But again, this is going to go to opinions. I know Roy Keane was probably ultimately wrong, but he was the captain. He's the leader of the team. And Mick McCarthy, I don't know. He just was never my style as a manager. And, I didn't like him. Like, I don't know. He went for me. What
No,
can
but if
I
you
say?
take a look in hindsight, McCarthy actually was the manager that Ireland needed because obviously he took the initiative of trying to move on from the Jack Charlton era by adopting a new style of football. And he also had to phase out quite a few of the old stalwarts of the Euro 88 and Italian 90 teams, like John Aldridge and Paul McGrath, among others. I mean, he kept Andy Townsend and a few others. Cascarino played until 99, but he wanted to chart a new direction and put his faith in youth. And after a few just close failures in qualification attempts, they finally cracked it in 2002. I know that Keane was a big part of that, and obviously his performances were magnificent. But, it's as if Keane, for the most part, never really liked playing for Ireland compared to playing for Manchester United. And he would often use his claims of the lack of professionalism in the Irish setup as more of an excuse because he never really was able to display that spirit of camaraderie with the team. And whenever,
Sort
because
of.
he
I
was
would never say
I mean,
he was never deep like Ryan Giggs though. Ryan Giggs never turned up for Wales. Do you know what I mean? He weren't deep like that, man.
yeah, no, but here's the thing. I mean, also both of them only earned about 60 odd caps for their country over that period, which is really poor totals for them. But I'm sure Fergie
Yeah,
had something to do with that. But
most
anyway,
definitely.
but Fergie or no Fergie, Roy Keane never struck anyone as being really willing to buy into that Irish culture. And sometimes when you talk about international football, team harmony is more important. Buying into the collective is more important. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you are a disruptive influence and not willing to respect your teammates or your manager, then I'm sorry, but if you're not going to be willing to do that and buy into that team environment and play for your country over a short period, then there should be no place for you. It's the same thing when you're selecting a squad for the British and Irish Lions rugby team or any international team playing in a world tournament. And it's a corner now for the US, and possibly something
Manny,
can happen here.
on that note, Manny, I need Lundbergkamp's attention. Sorry, Lundbergkamp, this is it here. This is called, I'm not going to say what it's really called. This is called the Gangster 2000. Bro, you on it? Sorry, Manny, this is a commercial break for us here, bros. You turn the machine on. I don't know. Still
Mate,
not
if
really
you want a
registered.
commercial break, wait till the actual halftime break when you can hawk your products as much as you want. Yeah.
No, it's not my
Right.
product. Don't worry. Hold on. What is it actually called? Am I getting blind out here? Now that claims to be something that is really healthy. Anyway, right now, Lundbergkamp, it's cooking. Literally, it's cooking to the perfect temperature. You feel the actual device getting hot. Let me just turn up that heat a little touch. Let's cook it because I like it. I like it a little bit well done. Sorry, mate, but yeah, this just has to be done at times. I did say to Lung, I was going to show him this incredible machine. So I'm cooking it right now to 430 Fahrenheit, Lundbergkamp.
Speaking of cooking, Timothy Weah was just cooking down the right wing, hoping to
Nice
find
one,
Pulisic,
nice.
but couldn't find him. And, ironically, the US have had the better chances. They could be 1-0 up by now. If Pulisic's shot had just that little bit of dip, Pickford would have been beaten and the US would be 1-0 up. So I think Beholter's plan is simple. Let England run themselves hoarse, and then we catch them on the counter. So this might be a good plan because obviously he doesn't want to see McKennie, Adams, and Musa tire out so quickly. And obviously, if they can, conserve their energy and save it for when they need to make that run, this could be brilliant. With about 5 minutes to go until half time, it's even Stevens right now, and it looks as though it could be quite difficult. Serginho Dest now with the throw to McKennie, and Weah nicely gets it forward to Dest, who's able to overlap quite brilliantly. Dest against Maguire, and
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm saying sorry about shit, Manny. Sorry. Let me tell you, this is a little smoking thing in it. So I've just took 2 puffs and literally choked my balls off. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, Manny's thinking, bro, you're just crazy. You know that. You're literally just crazy.
No, I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking that I'm really glad that I don't smoke because I couldn't hack it either, pun intended. And it is
right mate. Do you know what this is, bro? This is like straight like herb to lung, bro.
Right, more. So it's Christian Pulisic with the corner, right-footed in-swinger, hoping to find one of his teammates. And that goes straight to the head of Maguire, who heads it away. Maguire using his head, literally and figuratively. And he came off second best to Serginho Dest there, but thankfully nothing much came of it. Adams now with the throw-in, all the way back to Tim Ream, who can shepherd that. And it's back with Zimmerman. And I actually thought that to a team, the US actually played really well against Wales. It's just those individual mistakes at the worst possible time that can cost you. And it proved with Zimmerman's bad tackle on Gareth Bale. Pulisic now in the middle. Timothy Weah. And that is RG Wright down the right against Sterling. Laying it off for Serginho Dest. Header, and that is going wide. So this is relentless American pressure, and I don't think Southgate will be a happy chappy at half-time.
Hey, bro.
And
it's called Kelly in the Kelly device, brother. Kelly in the Kelly device. Bro, this is an incredible machine. I'd love to tell you a little bit more about it. Like, you see the green light and everything. Green light means it's ready to go. Everything's been cooked. You press the button, pretty much like a vape, I suppose, but this was out years before a vape.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
This cost one pretty penny when I went to Camden. Once, but no wonder this gangster.
Pickford now sending it up, and that goes fairly deep into the US half, and they can clear. Rice hacks that back in, hoiks it, whatever, and it is Sterling now lays it off to Saka, but Saka can't find Sterling. Trippier though gets it to Bellingham. Luke Shaw down the left, a nice little cross. And Turner claims that. So, for a person who's been lampooned as not being suitable to the English game, he's certainly proved his worth when it comes to claiming high balls. He hasn't flapped at crosses or set pieces. He has looked good, and he should still be an asset for us. But again, back to that question, if we do get a good fee for him, we could sell him. Preferably, though, poor mistake there from Robinson, costing his team a point. Preferably, though, I'd like to keep him for another season if we qualify for the Champions League, because that could be a tournament where he will get some occasional games and certainly get a chance to shine. I don't see Ramsdale, for instance, getting to play in the Champions League and then a Premier League game afterwards, unless...
whoa, Manny.
I mean, maybe it could be the case. What happened?
Whoa! See, I'm not disagreeing with Matt. Listen, levels out here, bro. Let's let him see how he gets on in this League Cup. FA Cup, totally agree with. When it comes to Europe and League, this should be strictly at number one for me. Like, I hate this turning over goalkeepers for Europe to. It's a recipe of something I don't like, bruv. Like, yeah, been served a meat samosa and you're vegetarian or something. I don't know. It's just not right, bruv. It's bang out of order.
I get that. Sure, laying it back to Saka, but Saka sort of sacking that over the bar, not getting his scoring boots on tonight.
Man said, "I'm really glad."
And here's the thing. I mean, back to Keane, I think we can agree to disagree. Look, he was a fine player, and certainly, his ego and his temper gave him that fire in his belly to develop. But when you're a captain again, you've just got to learn to sometimes tone that down. And most importantly, if your manager gives you an order that you are not supposed to talk to the press at any particular point in time, I don't care who you are, you shut your trap and get on with things, no matter who you are. It's as simple as that. Just 1 minute of stoppage time added. No,
I can imagine people like Ray Houghton and Pat Bonner would have the absolute arsehole of him for this, but there you go. But never mind. I can't. I thought, whoa, England
Ooh, a nice
corner.
free ball there. Excellent save there from Turner. If we get a goal, this could be good. And clearly Turner is apoplectic at his defense there. Allowed to go through the legs of Walker Zimmerman, who could perhaps be a bit of a weak link there. But Turner getting down well. Good, strong right hand, pushing that behind for a... And you can see he is apoplectic.
Hey, Matty Turner, y'all. As advertised by Manny. Arsenal's number 2. USA's number 1.
In stark contrast to Ramsdale, who's Arsenal's number 1, but England's number 3. But it is what it is. Corner now. I think it is Trippier who'll be taking it. Right foot.
Oh, Matty Turner again. Hey, Matt. You trying to be number 1, bro?
He is number 1. Look at the number on his jersey.
I was talking about Arsenal, Jim. Are you trying to be number 1?
And now it's my turn to take the mickey. Yeah.
That's that little backup. I agree. I've already gone 1-0. I think Manny's gone 2-1. Kyle went 2-2. I think Rodders went 3-1. So, yeah, I can't see it being 3-1. I'm sticking by 1-0 England, mate. 79th minute penalty, Harry Kane. England have gone into default against made sluggish and slow. I think Wales is the slightly better team. You've got 3 high energy midfielders against obviously the Deckers of Teckers and Bellingham. But McKennie's running around, he's doing his work, so is Musa, and so is Adams. Like, they are the 3 key people, as I think Manny said before the game. I said watching them the other day, USA. I was like, yeah, these are the 3 to watch when it comes knocking on the door for England. I said their goals output, I'm not sure, unless Timothy Weah wanted to step up. Like, that was a tidy goal the other day. But shouts out to you, Mr. Craig. Good effort from Mount, though. It certainly was. I'd still whip him off for Grealish. I'd leave Saka exactly where he was. I'd whip him off for Grealish, mate. And for me, Sterling, he can go as well soon as well. And Foden could come on if you ask me. Do you know what I mean?
Good calls, good calls, good calls. Definitely, if Maguire looks off the pace, I do not want to see Eric the Dyer coming on. Bring on.
No, that's ridiculous. I don't know. I found that. Oh God, Southgate. I don't know. Yeah.
It's favoritism, man. That's all it is. I mean, Dyer obviously was a part of the 2018 vintage, and he was brought back to.
But he was kind of left out for years again, like no phone calls, like left out there, left to dry, hanging. And then suddenly he called back one of his golden oldies. Like, yeah, I trust him though. I know what he can do. Like, I don't know. Current form for me has to be something huge to do with it. If Declan Rice is worth 70 million, what is Bellingham worth? I wouldn't say quite double it. Bro, I wouldn't. I'd rate
slightly more than at least slightly. Well, I mean, how can you rate Bellingham 65 now?
No, I said Deckers is 65 for me.
Oh, that's good.
Because listen, current contract, he's got to 24, the summer of 24, which isn't a million miles away. But the problem is West Ham do have the power to just drop a year on him in the final year of his contract if it runs down to that. So obviously it would make a year 2 again, basically. So yeah, he's got a contract to 224. I think if he's refused the latest offer, which I do believe is the 3rd offer he's refused, we know he's a Chelsea fan, but I am wondering why Arsenal ain't asking the question. On to Jude Bellingham. He's got to be worth about 40 million more, I suppose. So I'd say 110. Maybe they're overdoing it on the 130 mark. Maybe 100 mil. Is he a £100 million player? I don't know. He's never played a Premier League game. Jesus Christ, 19. He's only played in Germany. For me, man, 90 million, 90, you're taking the piss asking me for more. 95s, like, I don't know. Like, I love Bellingham. 100 mil, flipping hell. Like, you're squeezing my balls.
No, but hey, listen, you know what was the biggest Mickey take? Signing Jack Grealish for 100 million quid. I mean, which club in the world would ever refuse that money even for one of their star players?
Darlene. Who remembers that? The Sweden 2, England 1. But yes, Harry Kane is walking around like a fat
bastard Neil Webb letting him come in.
So sorry, just immediately I was like, Darlene. Martin Darlene, Thomas Brolin, when he wasn't so fat. I think he was even fat then, bros. He had a really good touch. He was always a fat bastard, even in his prime.
Yep.
He played for Parma against Arsenal in the '94 Cup Winners' Cup final. He flipping did. My memory. Well, I was at the game. Do you know what I mean? Young gunner. I really should remember. But yes, Thomas Brolin. That was my first time I see the fat boy close up, and I can promise you, bros. Even though I was a fat fucker as a kid, this geezer you could visibly see from the football pitch, from the terrace, yeah? You could see from the stands that he was fat. But he had a beautiful touch on him. But he's a fat footballer, though.
Definitely one of those old school players who looked a little bit chubby, but could definitely give the ball a good kick and had the skill to go with it. And of course, I remember Euro 92 only too well.
He was tragically slow as well, though, bruv. So it actually wasn't his like, bruv, he was fat. But he was very gifted, as in technically, he was very, very, very good.
Yeah. And I think that particular tournament thankfully signaled the end of Neil Webb's career. Wasn't picked after that.
Right, Bellingham's actual value, must be at least 125. Look how good he is and how many years he's got left ahead of him. Yeah, bro, but the one thing that frighteningly scares me, if you buy Declan Rice, he walks into Arsenal's team, I believe he's comfortable from his debut or maybe the second or third game. Like literally 3 games in, he's nice and comfortable. Like a pig in you know what. Bellingham, Jadon Sancho. I don't want to compare the two, but there's something there that really scares the life out of me, especially when you're hitting figures of 125, bros. I wouldn't want a Jadon Sancho at my club at 125, and he's pissing around a year later, not really getting up to speed in the Premier League. Bro, he's never played a Premier League game. Yes, he's probably played about 20-25 championship games, which is all well and good. The championship is actually quite a kick-ass little league, but it's still technically not the Premier League. Honestly, this guy scares me at that money. Would I take the risk? Of course I would, bros. But it is a risk for me, where I don't think Deckers is that much of a risk. I don't think he's a creatively phenomenal player, but what he does offer you is he stamps teams out. He nullifies certain attacks. And yeah, Premier League ready pretty clearly. He isn't old at 23 either. Certain people think like Declan Rice is like 28, 29. He's 23 years old, guys. It isn't like the geezer's old. So yes, there's a massive risk in and Luke Bergkamp, I would love the geezer at the club. 19, I'm sure within a year he'd be balling fantastically. I'm just saying, 125 mil coming into the Premier League. Let's just say after the rocky start, we had Man City first game, we got Trance 3-0. He plays disgustingly bad. And then it's like, then it's your Brighton at home. He doesn't kick off there. And then every game he looks bad, bruv. After 6-7 games, it goes. Now his confidence is getting tainted. He's turning into Jadon Sancho. The goals have dried up because obviously it's easier to score goals in Germany. Do you know what I mean? That'll be the first thing we have to deal with. If he's scoring 15 goals a season in Germany, what's that? 6-7 in the Premier League, with all respect. 8 at the most. Do you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. If you're willing to continue to take the risk on Mykhailo Mudryk, I don't see why Jude Bellingham can't hack it.
Because it's easily double the money. Brother. It's over double the money. Mykhailo Mudryk should not. I know there's a lot of people talking bollocks at 85 million right now, but believe me, unless Newcastle, if they're going to behave themselves and don't really bid, if teams like PSG, Barcelona stay away, behave themselves and don't make a bid, there's not many other teams that financially could just go and fling 50, 55 million down on a guy from Shakhtar Donetsk who really and truly is pretty much on the risk level as well. But you know what, mate, at 50 million pounds, you can't tell. Listen, this is 75 million pound more for a kid that hasn't played a Premier League game.
Well, so, here's the thing. I mean, I just
everyone is a risk in that respect, brother. Everyone is a risk.
I saw one of your recent tweets, and as far as I'm concerned, forget about Mudryk. It's all about the
Gakpo, yeah, Cody. Have we missed the boat on Cody? I think Cody was very gettable at decent money in the summer, like 30, 31, 32 million. Is it going to be as easy to go and get... Sorry, I was looking for my charger. Is it going to be as easy to go and just run and grab yourself a Cody at 30 million pounds just this January? I reckon he'll still be available. I'm not so sure 30 million pounds is going to be enough for PSV and Van Nistelrooy to do business. What do you think?
He scored twice in this World Cup, so I would think that his value would, at least be not taken up a notch. That's the worst part. And the thing about a World Cup is that with the January window coming up, a lot of these stars who could who are ending up impressing will
So let
certainly
me cut the Cody Gakpo one for you and everyone else. I'd love for you to have your thoughts on this. So Cody Gakpo isn't a £30 million striker no more. Leeds United have just bid £44 million money. Does Arsenal match it? Would you match it at 44 million? But you're guaranteed getting him. He wants to join Arsenal. He's publicly put it out there. But would you match a Newcastle or a Leeds United perhaps? Would you match their £44 million bid in theory for Cody Gakpo?
40 million? 45?
44, I said. Just random figure that come to my head. Would you Leeds have, in theory, they've just bid £44 million for him, yeah? The guy wants to come to Arsenal. He's pretty much said it. PSV have said we don't care, we won't stand in your way, but clearly we've had a £44 million bid. Equal it or piss off. Would you equal it, Manny, if you're the guy in control of Arsenal? It's a lot of money, isn't it?
If it wasn't January, I'd say yes, but the problem is he's played in the Europa League, another cup-tied Europa League player.
Didn't we discuss this? Rule might have been taken away, but was that Champions League to Europa League?
Yeah, it's either Champions League to Europa League or vice versa, as far as I'm concerned. Because, obviously, because here's the thing. I mean, obviously, the rule still stands in the FA Cup and the League Cup. I know that Europe is a different kettle of fish. I really do not believe that you can just switch. I mean, maybe it could be that if
Ronaldo is now unattached, yeah. So his dream is to play Champions League football for the next 6 months, allegedly, as we've heard it. So sorry, are we saying that's impossible? Oh no, he's played Europa at Man U, you fucker. So can he walk straight into any team and play Champions League football? I'm taking it he pretty much can then.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if Chelsea decide that they want him and they want him to augment their Champions League campaign, that would be fine. The only problem is I know that Bowley wanted him and Tuchel didn't, which is partly why Tuchel got the boot. And now,
I don't think it's what I mean about poor old Harry Potter. Is he really going to have a say in this? Because I do have a feeling Ronaldo could find himself at Chelsea. I've been saying this for the last few days on the stream.
Oh, if he does, if he does, I can just imagine what would be going on between Aubameyang and Ronaldo. Or maybe it could be a situation where they improve each other's game. I don't know. Watch this space.
I haven't seen that Neymar's injured, is he? Or have I just been on planet somewhere else? Have I been blazing too much?
He is injured. He is injured. Apparently, those Serbian bastards were kicking at him all evening, and he had to go off literally limping. And the damage was, in fact, mentioned. He would be missing the next 2 games. So it could be either Martinelli or Jesus, but in theory, it could very well be Rodrigo or someone like a Camavinga who could come in and maybe fill that slot.
Here, Craig. As I said, I would bring Sterling and Mount off, and I'd bring Foden and Grealish on. Pretty simple for me.
Yep. Rashford for Kane as well. Don't forget that.
I think a Bundesliga player. And then again, bros, we got side Klasnach from Bundesliga. Every time I think of Bundesliga, I think of side Klasnach. But anyway, hold on. Let me read the comment. I think a Bundesliga midfielder will translate better to Premier League than a Bundesliga attacker. Interesting. So hold on. So Lilian Thuram's son, Marcus, I believe he's got about 42, 43 goals in about 119 games for Mönchengladbach, I believe he plays for, in Germany, obviously, Bundesliga. I think he's got about 12 and about 17 this season, which isn't a disgusting rate. Is he worth £9 million? He's on a free at the end of the season. Would you try and rush something through for Lilian Thuram's son, Marcus Thuram?
Did you say 9 million?
Apparently, this is what I've been hearing. Any Arsenal can agree terms with him in January, which is next month. Yeah, that makes him a free. Yeah,
not 9 million.
9 million. 9 million still too early.
But listen, if he's a free, then other clubs are going to want to snap him up. So 9 million.
Exactly.
And given how very little we're being given to spend, I'd bite your fucking arm off.
Well, there you go.
Get him.
So 9 million. Obviously, it isn't a madly confirmed amount, but what is being said in Germany is Mönchengladbach. They're not really sure if they're going to be making Europa League or anything in Germany this season, so they're going to cut their losses in January rather than losing for absolutely sweet FA in the summer. I think it makes sense even if it was 8, 9, 10, 12 million. I don't rate Tielemans Zaha anything more than 8, 9, 10, 12 million. That's the same sort of money. Guys, they're all on free transfers at the end of the season. I wouldn't be trying to pay more for any of these players. Would I bring a couple of them in January to boost our squad? Probably. Gundogan has been quality for years, and his level didn't drop when he joined City. I do believe, though, in saying that, I believe if he had been at a struggling team like Arsenal, bros, especially when Arteta took over, why do I think Gundogan's transition would have been so smooth into the Premier League? I think it's 10% easier at Man City to acclimatise Premier League football, especially if you're a half decent and technical player and you can pass the ball. I think you're going to be an okay player on the Pep Guardiola. In saying that, Gundogan definitely has, if anything, the last 18 months, he started weighing in with a lot of goals, which he didn't seem to do at the start of his Man City career. So, yeah, shouts out on that one, Lundberg. Where has Hazard been tonight? I'm not sure. Where is Hazard? But obviously, no one can predict the future. Massive risk, but I think it's worth taking unless there are better and less risky alternatives. Well, do you think at 65 million in the summer, because it couldn't be done in January, or neither could Bellingham, would 65 million represent a much less of a risk for you for then Tilda being Rice, obviously? Would you take Tilda for 65 million then Lundberg camp?
I certainly wouldn't mind a good Uncle Ben's. Never
Well,
mind.
there you
Tilda.
go. Well, there you go. There you go.
It might be marginally expensive, mind you, but if it means adding some quality to the squad, it would be worth it. The biggest issue I have, Danny, is that whenever we're linked with midfielders, my first question is where the hell will we play them in our current lineup? Because
Well, listen,
Odegaard is on.
if you're going for Champions League, and if you do actually, if you're going for a title, that is, we're top and 5 points clear. Let's remind ourselves. And if we qualify for the Champions League next season, my brother, this doesn't get any easier. No team can get away being a massive team and a huge team like Arsenal Football Club with two quality central midfielders, brother. So if someone has to sit out every week, I don't give an F, whether that's Xhaka, Partey, Declan, whoever it is. Do you know what I mean? There has to be at least one more quality, and then you have your El Neni, or then you have your whatever as your fourth midfielder, or your Tillemans. But I don't think Tillemans wants to come to any club and be a fourth midfielder, with all respect. But Xhaka, Partey, yes, that is a hard tussle to break. That's why you don't pick Tillemans. You have to bring in Bellingham. You have to bring in Tilda Rice.
Yeah, speaking of Saka, Bellingham and Rice, they're coming out right now, and the half is about to begin. It will be the other number 19, Haji Wright, who will be kicking off. It was Mason Mount, our 19, who kicked off, and the USA are now attacking from left to right, dressed in all blue. And this is what I love about the US. Whenever they design their jerseys, they're spot on. Just kicked off now. Pass to Tyler Adams, who lays it off for Yunus Musa. And because their numbers are so visible, you could definitely see and know who they are. Now to Serginho Dest, back to Walker Zimmerman, over to Tim Ream right now, who could certainly calm things down. Anthony Robinson, of course, his Fulham teammate. And no attack this time around, but the referee obviously seeing Bellingham go to ground, but not giving a free kick, play on. Back with Musa, who sends that out on the left, and I believe that is... who the heck was that? I kind of didn't see that. But it is with Musa now, and that looks as though it's Robinson. Robinson down the left, certainly overlapping very well indeed. Probably the less heralded of the wing of the fullbacks that the USA have, but he has been good tonight. Dest has also been quite good too. And you see how...
Sorry, Manny. That is a hard question. So that's what I mean, bros. Tilda's 23, bros. Like, some people seem to think this guy's 26, 27. He isn't. Go Google the guy. He's 23 years old. You can't tell me that still wouldn't fit into Lego Man's as in the selling on blah, blah, blah. Like, in 5 seasons, he's still 27, 28. It's a sensible age, bros. Maybe 29. But yeah.
Yeah. Robinson.
I still think he's a decent guy.
I think that's McKennie. Ream. Zimmerman. And they've got to be quick with their passing because, Mount over there was sort of snapping at their heels, but it's back with Turner now.
Sorry, Manny. Nice... last point. Whoa. Sorry, Manny. But last point on that Lundberg count would be that's going to be interesting. Again, depending on who bids for Bellingham, I don't care if it's Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Liverpool. I'm sure, let's say it was 130 million, for example. I'm pretty sure the team is going to probably want to say, we'll give you 65 now, for example, and 65 over the next couple of seasons. So, yes, could that actually bring in Arsenal on a player like Bellingham's level? That could actually play into Arsenal's hands. We know we love a bit of a deal on finance and all that. Pepe comes to mind. £20 million down payment we paid for Pepe. So, I believe wherever he goes, or could that be swing it if a Man City or a PSG come in and just say, do you know what, we're going to give you 115, 120, or 115, let's say, straight cash. Everyone else wants to give you 130, but they're doing it installments. So I'll tell you what we'll do is the smart ass team like a PSG or a Man City could come in and say, I'll tell you what, 115, cash money. What are you saying? And that could be the one that wins the day. Sorry, Manny, you can take back over, but yeah, I do like that.
I'm getting some disturbance from your microphone, by the way, but it's all
was
good.
there?
I can't
That's
hear
me
it
probably
now.
playing on my phone. I'm setting the stream for later. Go on, Manny, you take over for a sec. I'm going to disappear.
Sure. So we're still back on commentary right now. It's Trippier down the right, passing it to Saka, who's going to try and lay it off to Trippier, but he's thwarted by Anthony Robinson. And now Christian Pulisic has the ball, and he can try and go forward now. Haji Wright is with him, and he's one step ahead of John Stones right now into the penalty area. He can try for a shot, but Stones blocks it, but it's out to Weston McKennie, and that should be deflected over, but it will be deflected over for a goal kick. So once again, down the flanks, the US looking really good. And the central defenders didn't even take a deflection. That just went straight over. Once again, Weston McKennie thinks he's playing in the NFL. This is the FIFA World Cup, boy. Get your act together.
Shouts out to Manny, everyone on the stream. Please be in the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. I am now setting a 10 p.m. live. You would have thought I'd have done this at half time, really, innit? But there you go. That's almost
right. So once again, it's Sterling now in the center, and he passes it back to Stones, so you can try and send it forward. It is with Mason Mount now, laying it off to Saka. Once again, trying to get in, but can't really do so. It's Trippier now. Let's see if he can try and lay it off. It is now with Sterling into the penalty area, but once again, the accomplished defense holds firm. Anthony Robinson there earning his props. Back to Luke Shaw, passes it back to Maguire. And so you can see that once again, the USA have certainly started this with a lot of energy, but also a lot of intent. And they've certainly been coached very well by Greg Berhalter. That cannot be denied. And that will be a free kick. Adams there being a little bit over-exuberant and not exactly, doing right by his team. But and of course, it was confirmed that Qatar were the first team to be knocked out of the World Cup. Never really should have been awarded the right to host the World Cup, and they simply have been found wanting in many ways. Stones. That is with Trippier now to Mason Mount. And now the US can try and come away through Pulisic, gliding over the English midfielders nicely, laying it off there for what looks like, well, certainly not Haji Wright. That is Yunus Musa, the England youth international who committed his future to the US. And of course, Southgate actually wanted him to commit his future to England, but he decided, no, the US is where he belongs. And good for him. He has done well.
Right. Also, Bellingham knows he'll get more game time at Arsenal. I'm sure Arteta would be a draw for him since he uses young players who are quality plus our style of play. Well, I wouldn't rule us out, bruvs, but it just depends financially. Are we going to have that? As Delbert say, have we got cash on the hip, son? Have we got cash on the hip? You know what I mean? I'm sure we're going to ask the question. I'm sure Edu, Arteta, hashtag whatever, Vinay is going to say to the Kronkers, he's 19, he's a star. There goes down Saka slightly, no penalty in my eyes, but yeah, he's a star.
Definitely no penalty. Top tackle there, and Adams there barking at his teammates right now. A throw taken, and Kane trying to get into the action. A lot of people have been saying on Instagram that Mason needs to be brought off. He hasn't really been effective. Yeah, Mount.
1 second, Manny alert. 1 second. A stepping stone to what though? Ain't we supposed to be getting back to that kind of team? If we got Bellingham, ain't that us challenging season in, season out for a title? People like Bellingham, maybe other striker, definitely the central midfield. Well, that would be Bellingham, but you know what I mean. And perhaps a Mudrak with that. Doesn't that make us kind of challenging them, Bergkamp? A stepping stone to what? Because under Wenger for the first 11 years, I wouldn't say anyone that signed would not have been using Arsenal as a stepping stone. Maybe the second 11, you know what I mean? The second 11 season, sorry. Arsenal become a little bit, we were going for fourth place, and it wasn't Henri's was signing up front anymore. It was Shimax. Do you know what I mean? For example. And what's the last one? It's not impossible.
Yeah, pass back to Turner, who controls that
Transfers
very
like
well
when we were
and lays
hoping
that
for
off forward.
Haaland. Well, look at that, the £59 million buyout clause. Christopher Nkunku has got a £49 million buyout clause, which goes into effect from the end of the season. Hence why Chelsea are trying to give them like a 12 million drink, try and give them 60 mil, see if they can't get a deal done in January. Hence the Henri interview recently when he said, why would Arsenal allow this if they're going for a league title? Why would they allow Chelsea to buy Christopher Nkunku? Not only are they making it as a rival becoming stronger, he must basically be aiming a little shot at Gabriel Jesus, saying the lack of goals, 10 without a game or something, 10, 11 games without a goal.
And that's another reason why I don't think he will be starting for Brazil in their next game, because even if you take a look at his record for the Seleção, he hasn't exactly been prolific. So, as I said, it will probably, I definitely don't see him bringing on Martinelli as a gamble. It will either be Rodrigo or maybe Camavinga who could come in. Camavinga, both of them having done quite well at Real Madrid, of course.
Yep. I like Camavinga as always. He's always looked good for me, even coming off the bench for Real Madrid, as he was certain times last year in the Champions League. I always thought he added something to their midfield as soon as he come on every time. So for someone to be so young and like Real Madrid isn't just any team out there, he pretty much impressed me every single time.
Yep. Absolutely.
In the Champions League, that is. I can't really say I've seen loads of Spanish games last season. Yeah. I started watching a little bit more Italian football and saying that.
Right, so we're coming up to 54 minutes. 54 minutes have already gone, 6 minutes before the hour. If Southgate has any chops, he will make his substitutions now. I don't think Verhoeven should necessarily make any changes, because I don't think there's any player in that side who's had a bad game. Maybe if I'm being harsh, Zimmerman might be a bit of a weak link. I thought Wrights looked okay, and obviously Pulisic has gotten into the game. Weah also has looked really good. So no substitutions for me just yet, unless you want to replace someone who might be having some tired legs.
I hear that, guys. Please be in the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. What's good in the hood, people? I will be back pretty much an hour after me and Manny are done. 10 p.m. live. I will be back in the building. So a quick hour to, I don't know, have a quick little refreshment, a drink, see what's going on in the football world, check last bits of information or Arsenal news. And then, yes, I'll be back in the building 10 p.m., guys. So please be in the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if we're new. And do be back at 10 p.m. Also, shouts out to everyone on this stream with me and Manny this evening.
Yeah. England throw in now. Trippier's taking that, and that is given all the way to Stones, I believe. Yep. Another thing which helps me is that I recognize what the players look like there, from everything from their body shape to their hairstyle. So, if I were to ever come back to the UK, if and when, I would love to sort of try and get a stint in broadcasting, because I really enjoy it, and a lot of people say I have the voice for it. I would actually love to try it, but it is tough,
Yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't say it's the easiest thing, but in saying that, I wouldn't say it's the hardest. As you say, you're kind of hooked up with some very nice bits of technology that's giving you so much information in your ears, and do you know what I mean? I reckon it. Yeah, as long as you've got the voice, the confidence, it's that kind of just, the enthusiasm to make 90 minutes sound interesting, even if it's the dullest game at QPR. It's QPR versus Barnsley. It's 0-0. It's wet. It's shitty. It's raining. It's December the 26th and you're bollock cold. Yeah, bros, make that entertaining. That's it. I'm sure.
The best commentators, mind you, have the ability to make that interesting, and they use a lot of puns and idioms. Rob Palmer's one of my favorites. Shout out to you, sir. I hope you're watching this. If you're not, no problem. I still love you. Ian Dark, of course, had his distinctive voice. And, I never really went for Martin Tyler that much. And, there was something about Martin Tyler that makes you think he's a bit of a stuffy old codger. And obviously Liverpool fans despise that fellow with a passion.
Yeah.
Tim Ream now passing that all the way to Anthony Robinson, trying to overlap. And it's Yunus Musa in the centre, who has looked impressive again, all the way to Weston McKennie. Lovely through ball to George Weah's son, but no one on the end of that pass. And, of course, you cannot overlook the fact that with Timothy Weah scoring against Wales, he was able to, fulfill the legacy that his father couldn't leave in a way, because George Weah, for all his talent, never got to play in a World Cup. So, whether you like the US or not, you can't deny that is one of the stories of this tournament.
True, most definitely. And George Weah, I do remember he had a close affiliation and friendship with Arsene Wenger, obviously. So
Oh yes.
yes,
Oh yep. Yep.
most definitely. So yeah, that's yeah, I definitely know about his story and his route into football and what Arsene Wenger personally did for him as a footballer and as a human being. So
Yeah.
shouts out to Wenger on that one. And
And
obviously, yeah,
also as a purist, it is nice to see a right-footed guy playing on the right wing and not the wrong wing.
yeah,
And there's the pun, and that should go out for a goal. Well, it's actually a corner. I believe that was it took a deflection off an England defender. And once again, the US are attacking, coming up to the hour mark, and Pulisic is making a nuisance of himself, and it is Declan Rice there, Tilda, as you would say,
as I would say,
earning
Maltesers,
earning his dinner.
or Deckers with Techers, if we like. Right,
Yep.
stepping stone to Madrid or Bayern or PSG. See, well, he's already done the German league, so I'm not sure. Well, yeah. So yeah, possibly PSG or Madrid. I get it. And Barca would be, oh, yeah,
Pulisic now with the corner.
yeah. Do you know for a
Ah,
second, someone got a flick there? I thought the number 3, was it Robinson, was about to come in and head that straight in.
yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if it was Robinson, but obviously Maguire there with the header. And we'll take a look at the corner now. It was Pulisic with the right-footed in
It was
swinger,
Maguire.
and yeah, it was Maguire who headed that away. And obviously Musa was trying to get the ball back, but I think his barge into I think
Dare I
that was
say,
John
without
Stones
Maguire,
was a
that
little
was a
bit.
goal there. Sorry, that was a goal without Maguire there. There you go. Big it up, Maguire. Liverpool have an old midfield. They need a refresh soon. Bros, most definitely. Number one, they don't love spending that kind of money. So again, I'm sure Liverpool will be on that. We want to give you 50 million now, 50 million later, 20 million after that. Again, it's going to be interesting to see who has the balls to go in for him and how much cash money they're willing to put down on the table.
And
Um,
another US corner earned by
yeah,
Robinson.
yeah,
Once
yeah.
again, it was
Sorry, US are
Pulisic.
definitely getting to grips with this. I'm getting into the comments, but US are definitely they're growing in this game. They're becoming the better team, dare I say. So if you want him, we got to move hard and fast, bareback style, bro. Exactly. But again, that could be proved if we can move fast for Mujak. I'll be feeling we're moving fast for Bellingham in the summer. Guys, please be in the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if you're new. Shouts out to all the real ones in the stream. Please, big massive like. Shouts out to Manny with me today, my partner in crime. The USA corner comes in. Oh, there's big Tim Reamer.
Yep. And then
Here goes
McKennie trying
Tyler
to get
Adams
it.
putting his foot in.
Yep.
Corner ball
Now we're on.
again.
And once
Corner
again,
ball
this
again.
time it's Captain Kane to the rescue. Not just Citizen Kane, he's Captain Kane, and Kane was able to avoid conceding a goal.
Shouts
But
out to
so
you.
far, no goals for him. Yeah,
Yes,
and
Mr. Ty's in the building. What's going on, bros? What are you saying? Not much, bros. Just chilling, watching England as you do. About half an hour left, roughly. If you're going by Qatar standards, it could be about 45 minutes left of this game. Literally.
and once again, Sergeant Maguire coming to the rescue, and Tim Ream having the presence of mind to look for Pulisic and find him, and Kane once again
Go on,
back
Kane. Look at
on
him.
defensive
Battling boy.
duties.
Battle boy. Battle boy.
But then the US win it back through a combination of Ream and Adams.
My
And now it's
entire
all the way out
section.
to Yunus Musa. And now
Ian
Serginho
Drake
Dest,
is a
who's
goat,
not
by
so
the way,
far
bros.
forward now.
Bros, Ian Drake is a goat. Martin Tyler is a close second.
Ian Dark is his name, but I agree with you.
Sorry, yes,
Dark,
it is
no
dark. He
doubt
has
about
put
it.
dark as well, by the way. It was me. It's me. Allow me, money. Shots fired for Little Burkham. No, I'm joking. Andy Gray was a legend too. Andy Gray. Yeah, what did he say? He said something. Was it about Dwight York or something? It was going into an ad break for Sky, man.
No, but here's the thing. I'm glad that Gray and Keys aren't at Sky anymore. And Gray, of course, was Tyler's partner in crime. But both of those two
They
are a
sort of
bunch
started
of.
the whole Sky thing. I think that's what probably Lung Burkhamp's getting at there. I think that's probably memories of football from pretty much young watching Sky. If you're fortunate enough to have Sky in your household, or I don't know, you live by yourself, you've kind of got Sky. I don't
Pulisic's
know.
now trying to bubble that, but that's held
That there's the
by
earliest
Maguire. Now
memories for
Trippier.
me of Sky
More
Sports
Henderson
TV.
Sterling. Yeah, I never really had the pleasure of watching Sky Sports because in 1992 we left the UK to move to the Middle East, and I could never watch live football from the Premiership until I think it was the 2000-2001 season. And
Big time,
obviously, I
sir.
knew that Sky was coming into its own. But I'll tell you one thing: when it was on terrestrial television, it was the best. You had the Saturday football focus, of course, on Grandstand with Lynham, Wilson, and Ryder and company. And then, of course, on Sunday afternoons on ITV, it would be Wellesby, Rosenthal, and the boys with the match.
Go on,
And
yeah, I remember that. Shit.
and
Shit.
of course, Satan Greavesy. Who could ever forget Satan Greavesy? That was amazing, utterly
Good one
amazing.
up. Good to hear, Rodders. Richard Keys pisses me off, though. Yeah, he was a dick blower. He was always that really boring geezer that would come in and be like, Arsenal, Man United today, say no more, do or die. And then, yeah, then a load of them clips would come in and that whole song and dance made by Sky. Oh, yeah, it was pretty horrible. I didn't like Richard Keys, I have to say.
Richard Keys was a boring
When
old
his
wheeze.
commentator sound like 10-year-old boys shouting, can't take them serious.
Boy,
I know,
that's not fair. I
listen.
mean, look, no, I like the women commentators obviously because they obviously want to try and be forceful and presentable. And you know, when they do commentate on the game, they lend a nice flavour to it. So it's good. We need to have more women commentators and more co-commentators, former internationals, as it were. They add to the game, and I'm happy. I'm happy to see that.
Come on, England! No, I'm joking.
That was a cheap shot. Another corner, and Pickford flaps at that, but that will go out for a goal kick.
Oh man,
Or
I
is
need
it
to.
another corner.
Hey Tyler,
Wait,
will you know about this, bros?
Let's see this right now.
Tyler, will you know about that? Do you know about like the international 2000 or whatever?
Well, it looks as though the
Well,
US.
You put the thing there. You put that there.
It looks as though the US have another corner because Pickford actually got a fingertip to that.
You press the on button, bros. The thing cooks, and then you blaze.
Pulisic again. Trying
Things
to
on
do it
fire,
away
bros.
swinging corner.
Makes you choke like a baby.
And
But
this
shouts out
is
here.
a sustained period of
USA, yeah, seriously. Last 10-15 minutes has been all USA, y'all. Shouts out to Matt Turner and the boys. Early Sky Sports Days. Exactly, bros. I knew exactly what you're talking about there, brother. As soon as you started reading it off, I just thought, you know what? He's talking about early Sky Sports. That's what I said. If you're fortunate enough to have that sort of hook up when you were a young man, you were a man. Like that's what I mean. This is, I don't know. Maybe that's why my football knowledge was kind of really good. Like I've always sort of.
Oh my goodness! He needs some attacking intent, and he's bringing on Jordan Henderson. Are you taking the mickey?
Oh, do you see what I mean? This geezer's bringing on Henderson. Oh God.
Well, I hope he's bringing him on to replace Declan Rice. Because that's
so what, bros? Deckers is all right. Leave Deckers alone, bros. What do you need Henderson on for? Oh, leave me alone.
No, but
not
the
you
problem
personally,
is,
Manny, but you know
that's
what?
He did. No, that's what he did during the Euros. If he takes Bellingham off, I'm going to flip my lid. Please take off Mount.
Do you know what? Bellingham has been quiet. I'm going to be real, and this is the problem with me, Bellingham. 125 million pound. He hasn't been smashing the USA tonight. The Premier League is a lot tougher than USA Lundbergkamp. I'm going to just say that right straight.
Well,
this is what I'm scared shitless of about this geezer.
Here's some good news. We got Super Jack Grealish coming on as well. So.
Yeah, I could definitely see him stripping down.
Oh, yeah, and in the penalty area, but once again, Tyler Adams coming to the rescue. And now it's England's turn to come back at the US. Come on, boys, get it in. And Turner snaffles that. So, Weston McKennie, Sterling snapping at his heels. Rice taking it off him. And that will be a US throw. So now would be the good time to make your substitution. Come on, Gareth, show some bottle. A few more substitutes warming up as we speak. And, yep, it is Grealish and Henderson.
That's out to Princess Guna. Who's this? Josh Saunders. USA going to win, bro. USA have most definitely been. Hey, y'all, they've been a better team for the last 15 minutes, man. Shouts out to Matt Turner on that one, an Arsenal goalie, y'all. Listen, it's going to go 1-0 either way, y'all. So, hey, please get likes on the video. Do be subscribing as we are new, John. Who are you stalking this evening, brother? Who are you stalking, y'all? Who are you, G?
I can tell you who's doing some stalking on the pitch right now. It is the USA, and it is Timothy Weah and Weston McKennie leading the charge. Yunus Musa has chipped in, but gave that away, and that can be hacked away. And that's headed back to Matt Turner, who's out of his penalty area, but safe and sound. Passes that to Tim Ream. So come on, Gareth, make your substitutions. Chop, chop.
You know, innit? Oh, hey, Gareth, you want to keep that the same, y'all? You want to keep this at 0-0? Hey, we're happy with that one over in the US of A. Shouts out to all the real ones. Please give the likes on the video. Do be subscribing if we're new. USA is going to win. Dun, 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 says John.
But listen, even if we were to not get the result we wanted, Wales are lambs to the slaughter. So if you enjoy Welsh lamb, I know you're a vegetarian, so you can't eat that anymore. But if you enjoy Welsh lamb, you've got about 20. You've got about 26 lambs who are waiting to be slaughtered.
Here we go.
On Tuesday.
Right, Raheem, couldn't agree more. Good evening, brother. Have a great night. Go and enjoy the Qatar sunlight. Go on, Big Jack. Go on, son.
Saka on for Sterling, and I assume that, I mean, is Grealish going to be on the left?
Shouts out to Grealish, keeping his promise to that kid as well on his celebration, the last England game. Shouts out to that man.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love Grealish? Wonderful. And
Bellingham
comes off for the England vice-captain, Jordan Henderson.
Who is Bellingham? Unbelievable. Brilliant.
Yeah, you called it, I think. You said Bellingham hasn't exactly set.
And you know what? He doesn't take off Mason. He loves this geezer. Seriously, he wants to blow Mason something chronic, doesn't he?
Well, wow. The only problem is if we go a goal down, we will have a huge mount to climb. What do you say?
I grew up on Henri Fabregas, Kleb Sagna, Lehman, Walcott, and the like.
Sure.
Most definitely. Lums.
And rushing in down the left. This is promising, but nicely headed away. And that was Tim Ream there doing the work. Both Ream and Zimmerman
He's Ream. He's proper Ream, he is. He's Ream, I'm telling you.
Yeah, both those central defenders have got their hair tied in a bun, so it's almost difficult to tell them apart. Thankfully, their jersey numbers are very well seen.
I think they just want to look like Alexi Leilas, yo.
Nah, if they gonna look like Leilas, they got to get themselves a long goatee, you see?
Oh, yeah, you get the big long...
Now you got me started. Don't do that again. Shame on you, Danny.
Is it infectious, Manny? Is it infectious, y'all?
No.
Do you want to slap on a new airhead this evening?
Oh, it's infectious, all right. It's infectious like one of those goddamn skin rashes. Don't you dare do that again.
Damn, you're coming off like a little Tom Hanks there. I'm loving it.
Oh, don't start again. If you ask me to do that again, I'm going to flip my lid. And it's Jackie. Go on, Jackie.
Go on, Jack, boy.
Run at them, Jackie. You got it, Jackie.
And he tackled himself.
But you tried.
He's definitely going to bring some
back memories, of course, of Brian Moore telling John Barnes after he came on as a substitute in that quarter-final of the World Cup, go on, run at them. So every time Jack Grealish comes on, I say, go on, Jackie, run at them. It's all yours. I mean, Grealish really puts the super in super sub. It's amazing, though, because the number 7 is no longer so sacred as a starting number. It's become more of a super sub. It was Theo Walcott in Euro 2012, and now 10 years later in the World Cup, it's with Jackie Grealish.
Fair enough. Nice.
And, of course, I remember watching highlights of Kevin Keegan coming on wearing the number 7 in 1982. And that time, he wasn't so super, missing that open header. Not that it really would have mattered for England in the scheme of things. And a potentially shaky moment for Turner there, but he knew what he was doing. And now it's Serginho Dest down the right wing. Mason Mount in top pursuit. And is there a free kick to be awarded? Well, yeah. Dest is on the floor. And
now, if I remember, at this point in the last game against Wales, America, I doubt they'll do it again, took off Dest, McKennie, and Musa. I doubt they'll be doing that again tonight.
Yeah, Berhalter will know better because, I mean, obviously with England trying to force the issue, these three midfielders in question, these 3 players in question are part of that defense mechanism. And so far, the US haven't made any substitutions. They've looked the fresher and fitter of the lot. But it won't be long before Berhalter decides to bring a few on. There's a drinks break right now.
Up and running again with Harry Maguire, guys. 71 on the clock, still England 0, USA 0. So if I was to be right on my prediction, I said England would win 1-0. It was a 79th minute penalty from Harry Kane. We are edging ever so closer to the 79th minute. I doubt it's going to happen, but there you go. But I said 1-0 Harry Kane penalty, 79th minute. We're still on, people. We're still on.
Yeah, for me, as I said, 2-1. It might be Weah or Pulisic who will score for the USA. I don't care, but I'm putting my house on it. Grealish and Rashford. Where is Rashford anyway?
Where
Take me
the
off.
fuck is Rashford? Where is Rashford? Rashford's going to score. Where?
John Stones now taking that out and lurching that forward,
Here's
trying to
Gareth
find
Southgate.
Mason Mount. He finds Mason Mount on the left, and that is Grealish also on the left. And that should be a free kick to England, and it is. Eugenio Dest there coming off second best.
All right, levels need to be upped again. 18 minutes plus again. Probably a very famous half an hour. So there could be anything up to about half an hour left this game going on with our timing. But let's see.
Oh, I disagree. I mean, we only had one minute of stoppage time because there were no controversies. Yeah, beautifully done through the legs. Kane in the penalty area, but once again the defense coalesces and the danger is cleared. And Way's first touch was heavy there, so
Go on, Jack. Things are definitely livened up since Jack got on the pitch, though. He just has to, find that final pass, that shot. But yeah, he's definitely livened up England by about 10%. What position above midfielder? Hold on, sorry. What position was Abui? Midfielder or right back? Right, for me, he came to the club as a right midfielder, but sort of, if you'd ask me, sort of took the right back role. I don't know if someone get injured or I don't know. He took the right back role and then sort of become a super sub and then had a nightmare against someone and kind of never played again. It took off at half time. But Emmanuel Abue. Pretty sure he played both. Yes, he did. I'm sure he signed for us as a midfielder, as a right midfielder. But Wenger being Wenger, loved to flip a player around. Lauren, remember? Lauren was not a right back when he signed for us. He was a right midfielder. He turned out to be one of the best right backs in our history. Lauren signed for about 6.9 million, if I believe was right. But he was definitely a right midfielder. And I was thinking, for a midfielder, how does this guy get into our team? Well, there's how much Wenger was a genius, isn't it? Because he never intended him to be a right midfielder. Our midfield was pretty shit hot at the time, and I didn't get it when we signed Lauren. About a season later, I totally got it. Do you know what I mean? I totally got it. But Wenger done that, bro. He used to sign players as right midfielders. They turned into right backs. Hashtag Lauren, hashtag Aboe. Manuel Petit signed as a left back, central midfielder, bros. Won the World Cup in France as central midfielder. When we signed him for 1.5 million or £5 million as part of the deal that took Gilles Gramondi to Arsenal, he was in fact a left back. You can Google it. Don't challenge me. I'm the man. Blah blah blah. Manuel Petit was a left back and only had pretty much played left back all his career. And Wenger see the strength of him and decided left back he'll get caught out in the Premier League, and you're now going to be my CM. Who else did he do this with? I'm sure you pretty much know Henry. He's not a striker.
Henry, of course,
Henry wasn't a striker. He was a winger. So yeah, the list absolutely continues.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Wenger, if he were England coach, would get a tune out of this lot. This left back, Luke Shaw's playing right at the moment.
Why isn't Wenger the England manager? Seriously. And you know what? If Southgate's stepping down after this tournament, I think Wenger needs the last swan song in football. I think he would sort this England bunch right out. Seriously.
Well,
give Wenger his manager.
If England score now, this could change everything. But obviously, Saka
I'm going to take your lunch money.
And I really would not like. Harry Kane now. Maybe he can take a shot from outside the penalty area. No, it's with Saka. But Tim Ream intelligently earns the USA a goal kick. And here's the thing. I do believe that if Wenger were to come in, he would put Saka back on the left where he belongs. I know people love him running down the right and cutting in and scoring. But the only problem is when you are a left footer and you can whip that cross in from the left, it is absolutely golden. And now we see two substitutions. Two number 11s coming on. Brendan Aronson for the US. I wonder who will be replacing. Certainly some tired legs. I think McKennie's running himself into the ground. He will be going off. Yep. And for England, Rashford will be coming on. The question is, will he replace Harry Kane?
Here's your guy, bro. Here's your guy. I reckon it'll be Saka.
I told you.
I reckon it'll be Saka. Saka's going to come on. Who's that? Sergeant for America, yeah?
No, that's Aronson, also from Leeds United. So... So Adams and Aronson are two Leeds boys. And there's another guy coming on, the number 18. What's his name?
Moore.
Yeah, certainly not Kiefer Moore from from Bournemouth and Wales. It is Shaquille Kwame Moore, Shaq Moore, and he will be replacing Serginho Dest. So, for what it's worth, the US still have Adams and Musa on the field, but I think Dest has been running a little bit too much without too much.
Pretty
I'm
pissed to be
surprised.
getting
I'm surprised he
week.
didn't bring on DeAndre Yedlin, who is also he made his career as a right back.
But he brought
also
Serginho Dest off in the first game. He didn't bring Yedlin, if I think correctly. He didn't bring Yedlin.
No, he brought Yedlin on for Dest,
did he?
actually. And you called it. Saka. It's Saka who's coming off and Rashford who's coming on.
There you go. There's a surprise. I knew that one was coming.
Surprise.
I knew that was coming.
Familiar? Of course.
He won't mess around with certain people. He loves Southgate. He probably does love himself. He loves Mount. He loves Maguire. Certain people can't be moved, bro. Simple as. I was surprised Sterling come off the pitch. Hey, Hank Yumi, did you know Matt Turner's in goal? Yo, representing the USA, my brother. My brother from Cali. What's good, Hans? Well, go on, G.
12 minutes left, and let's see which team cracks first. Well, it is Robinson now down the left, and he's trying to find... does he find Pulisic? Yes, he does. Pulisic is still on the pitch and giving England more than an itch.
Bro, McKennie dropped a Tango ice glass. Brubs, I've got them. They're kind of bad, you know that? Seriously, do you know what I was most impressed with them Tango ice glass? They hold their flavor. You know, like when you're hot in the summer, bros, and you suck one of them things, you're like, you're trying to get the juice and you're all hot and you're pissed off and you're sweating, bros. These things, man, they hold their flavor. Like, literally, they're gangster. So shouts out to Mr. McKennie on that one. Shouts out to you, Long Bergkamp. Shouts out to
this guy Moore is also teammates with Zimmerman at Nashville SC. So
okay, so we've got a couple of authentic MLS Americans on this pitch now, y'all.
Yeah, and
you can't get more American than Nashville, y'all.
Yeah, you can't get more than that, and obviously Moore will look to try to work well with Zimmerman because both of them, of course, are club teammates, just like Aronson and Tim Ream at Fulham. And here is Moore now coming into the attack, and he ends up conceding a free kick for a foul on Jackie Grealish.
No place.
Of course, every time Grealish is in the penalty area, we've got to say Jack's in the box.
Manny.
Yeah.
Did you see what this man said? David Seaman. He said something about Ronaldo coming to Arsenal. Give me your thoughts.
Yes. I mean, I didn't see the whole clip, but I know I saw a reel on Instagram, and apparently he was saying that to Piers Morgan. First of all, I never take Piers Morgan seriously. I think he's I can think of so many words to describe him, but, you know, it would take me all night. Sod that bugger. But, you know, for Seaman to say that
bugger. Yes.
For Seaman to say that, I mean, I loved him as a player, but I think he's wrong over here. It really wouldn't be worth the hassle. How much could we pay him? He was on $500,000 a week at Manchester United. How much do we possibly pay him?
Okay, I'm gonna just have to drop. I'm gonna have to stop you there, Manny, because as much as I love you, you could make that go on for half an hour. So I'm gonna put this to you differently. Cristiano Ronaldo publicly tells you, Manny, yeah, he'll play for Arsenal for 150 grand a week, no bonuses, just straight 150 grand a week, 6-month deal to the end of the season. See how it goes. We'll talk again in the summer. Manny, now can you give me your answer?
150? Are you taking the mickey? He wouldn't say 150.
He's 37, bro, and he's just got himself a get out of jail card from Man United. He's not skint, bro. As a professional footballer and a human being, he's not skint, my friend. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he would do it. I just wanted the answer out of you. I just wanted to see if I could. All right, mate. Well, 200 grand a week, just to piss Manchester United. Right, you've heard the answer. Listen to me. You've heard the interview with Piers, yeah? You've heard him say, if Man United can't win the title, I want Arsenal to win it. Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard that.
Did you hear him say the Emirates was his favourite stadium?
No, I didn't hear that.
Okay, cool. He did say the Emirates in the same interview. Emirates was my favourite away ground, favourite stadium. The same sort of bollocks when people are kind of hinting to try and come towards your club. Why would the great Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm just saying, listen, love or hate him, I'm just saying, at 37, why would he be saying, I hope Arsenal... Listen, mate, you play for fucking Manchester United, as you said in that interview. Why would you be talking about Arsenal win the league? Just saying.
Probably because the interviewer happens to be an Arsenal fan himself and he wants to get on his good side.
Why does he need to get on any interviewer's good side? Just saying.
Well, I mean... let's take a look at this. Yeah, I mean, Morgan obviously wanted to interview the guy because he was sympathetic towards Morgan. I believe they even shared an interview together where Ronaldo allegedly complimented Piers on his abdominals. I mean, that was stupid. It really was. I know that's not true in any way. It looks as though Timothy Weah might be coming off, and that's his father.
Yeah, I see that there. I was about to say, I just see that up there. Brat, big up, daddy.
And they brought on Giovanni Reina for him, and Haji Wright will be coming on, and Josh Sargent is coming on for him. So,
Manny, I'm going to have to press you on this one. It's 200 grand a week. It's a 6 month still to the end of the season. We talk in the summer. It's 200 grand a week. Just to piss Manchester United off and just to blow off Piers Morgan a piece and to entertain me and you on this stream.
If Cristiano Ronaldo was unable to adapt to Erik ten Hag's 4-2-3-1 high pressing formation, what makes you think he will have any kind of a short-term future under Arteta's 4-2-3-1?
I wasn't asking me the question. I was not asking me the question. I was asking you the question. This is obviously a no, yeah?
Well, the reason why I'm asking you that question is because it's rhetorical. He wouldn't. And that's why my answer is no.
All right.
No.
So again, just for the last, as a number 9, instead of having Nketiah on the bench here, I'm just saying again, I'm trying to just see if I can nudge you towards this, yeah? Like David Seaman obviously feels nudged towards it. So instead of Eddie Nketiah, so Eddie earns 100 grand a week, double up Eddie's money to give that to Cristiano Ronaldo. Eddie goes on loan to Crystal Palace. You wouldn't take him for 6 months. I'm just confirming this, Manny.
Wouldn't we still be paying part of Nketiah's wages anyway?
Who gives a fuck? We sell him on a brothel, mate. Just we get rid of him, okay, and his wages, all right. So now it's basically we have to double up these wages to have this geezer for 6 months, mate. Would you take him? Yes or no? Do you think he's worth 8 Premier League goals between now and the end of the season at Arsenal, just as a lazy number 9, if you like, someone that wasn't pressured to press, mate? Sort of easy life, but yet we need you to run about here and there, and you know what I mean, but. Mate, mainly you need to score goals because Gabriel Jesus seems to have a problem with scoring goals. Now, Manny, just from January to the end of the season for like 5.5 months, would you then take the G on £200,000 a week?
No, if he couldn't do it at Manchester United, he's not going to do it at Arsenal. It's as simple as that.
No problem.
And look, I despise Eddie Nketiah as much as you do, but you know. It has to be said that, you know...
Ronaldo's not for me either. Basically, after that, Ronaldo's not for me either. I was struggling to sleep last night thinking, you know what? I don't care what age he is, though. He's still a better footballer than Nketiah. I was just trying to just break it down to myself as in, I don't know. We need a striker somewhere along the line. We need someone to score a goal.
I don't mind the idea of buying back players on, short-term deals, buying players on short-term deals and having them perform a role for us. And obviously, if we can have a striker who can come in and perform a role, somewhat like Henrik Larsson did for Manchester United, if there were someone available who wouldn't have Ronaldo's ego and his insistence that he play every week, I'd say yeah. But take a look at what's happening now with Portugal. I mean, there's been some talk about how he's pretty much held back the progress of people like Rafael Leao. I mean, he came on as a substitute and scored. I think when it comes to the knockout stages, Santos will probably drop Ronaldo anyway, and we'll see if he refrains from throwing his toys out of the pram as captain of his country. So, look, mate, I understand where you're coming from. I know we need some goals. I despise Nketiah as much as you do or anyone else, but Ronaldo just wouldn't cut it for me. I'm sorry. No. Cool. If there were any other striker that we could find, I'd say, let's go for him.
No problem. Danny and Manny, the price for Christmas trees is ridiculous. Would you pay £2.20? Bros, I actually was in a Tesco today, and I see Tesco trying to tell me there was a tree on sale from 100 quid to 70 quid. As I was walking past it, I didn't bother checking sizes, shapes, and whatever colours and whatnot, mate. But I did at that point say to myself, who's going to pay 100 quid for it? I wouldn't even pay 70. What the fuck are they talking about? It's a Christmas tree. Score 5. What's going on? Whatever happened to a Christmas tree at Score 5? Like, what's going on? That's 25 to anyone else in the stream. What's going on out here? Shouts out to you, Craig. I think, yeah, mate. I don't know. Yeah, seriously, the world's gone mad, brother. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, Rashford's on his own now. He's up against Ream and everyone else, and they're trying to
real with you, brother. Listen,
you've
missed 0 pretty much. Matt Turner hasn't had to make one classically like a bad save. Like he's just caught the ball there from Rashford, but I mean, he hasn't really been called into action once. Most of the time, most if anything.
No, but listen.
As far as the American keeper, he's had one save at most.
Yes, but the problem is, listen, this is the sort of game, Danny, where you cannot afford to miss anything. You blink and you miss something, and I very nearly missed, um, one of the US's chances on goal. Fortunately, I didn't miss Pulisic's shot, which hit the bar. That would have really made me sick, but what can you do? And it is pronounced Pulisic, not Pulisic. It's Yugoslavian. I don't know whether it's Serbian or Croatian or Bosnian or what have you. I don't know. But it is what it is. It's Aronson now down the right wing to Gio Reyna, who came on. And it's back with Walker Zimmerman. Haji, that is Shaq Moore, actually, not right. Right went off. So it's Aronson now who's running in, finding Yunus Musa. And
He
Tyler
looked
Adams is
good.
still free, and he gets the ball.
As much as
Shaq
I agree
Moore
with
now.
Manny, brother, as much as sorry, Manny, I know you're trying to do the commentary. As much as I agree with Manny as in the know, Ronaldo's a tosser, isn't he? And I don't know. I think he'd just love to Chelsea or Arsenal. I think he'll go to any team just to sort of piss off the Premier League, go and have a good 6 months, and then piss off to America, wherever he's going to eventually land up. I don't know. I think he will end up at a Premier League team, probably Chelsea, just for 6 months.
If he ends up at Chelsea, I'll tell you, Aubameyang will either decide to throw a fit and Matt Turner over there trying
I don't
to
think
become
Tom Bowley gives one fuck.
But
I don't think the owner gives a damn, Manny. I don't think the owner gives a damn, with all respect.
Well, of course, because the owner wanted Ronaldo, if you
there
remember
you go.
correctly. And it's Shaq Moore now down the right, trying to find someone in the penalty area, not succeeding, and that can be cleared away. Jack Grealish back on defensive duty, back past to Jordan Pickford. So I don't know if you saw that moment there, but Matt Turner tried to sort of make out like he was prime Rene Higuita. But thankfully, unlike Higuita in Italia 90, Turner wasn't punished for that. I mean, some of you who watched Italia 90 would have remembered Higuita once again going on one of his stupid runs out of his penalty area. Roger Miller took that from him, scored, and then did that trademark samba dance. Oh, boy, those were the days.
I remember seeing a picture of that from the front. Roger Miller was actually laughing when he was running with the ball. He was actually laughing, like pissing himself. I don't know if you ever see that camera footage. It was actually years after the World Cup I see it. Some smart ass had a picture of it from, say, behind the goal, as yours, if you'd like to say.
Yeah, and that was poor defensive play there from Zimmerman, which very nearly sold his captain to keeper a dummy, but thankfully nothing came of it. It was Henderson, in fact, who was trying to run on the end of that. Interesting. A lot of people have been saying that Jordan Henderson doesn't have the legs for Liverpool, and this might be his last tournament with England, but he's trying to make himself seen and heard, yeah?
I have to squash this, sorry. Mate, what did this Christmas tree do for you for 220 quid, brother? What did it do? Was it fibre optic? Was it lit up in lights? Did it sing Merry Christmas? What did it do? Did it touch you or something? Like, what did it... I'm not starting on you, Craig. I'm just asking, what Christmas tree can be worth 220 quid, bros? That sounds like an exclusive pair of trainers to me. It depends what you like more in life, an exclusive pair of trainers or a Christmas fucking tree. As it stands, Southgate's still not the answer. Arsene Wenger is the answer, bros. In Arsene Wenger, I trust. Arsene Wenger for England, mate. I'm telling you.
Right, 4 minutes of added time. It looks as though England are the more likely winners here because they've got a corner now and they've started to come back in. And Henderson, surprisingly, has looked really, determined since he's come on. He's been running at them. And it was Henderson who, in fact, won the free kick. So, I mean, sadly, it's a case of only Smarties having the answer. Do you remember that advertisement? Only Smarties have the answer.
Who else?
You remember that? Only Smarties have the answer. Remember that advertisement?
Of course I do.
And once again, Turner claims that. So, another potential clean sheet for Matt Turner. He only conceded.
Mate, that comes like Frosty. Great. Yeah. So you got me thinking of random old adverts. Hold on. What about the classic of all classic football ones? If you drink this, you'll be good enough to... Hold on. Ian Roche told me some shit. You'll be good enough to...
No. Mate. I've got it.
Go on.
Milk.
Yeah, that's it.
It's what Ian Roche drinks. Ian Roche? Yeah. And he said if I didn't drink a lot of milk, when I grew up, I'd only be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley? Who are they? Exactly. Nah, get off. Give me some. Get off.
Jesus Christ, that brings me back. All right, cool. So you remember Scott Parker, the midfielder that went on to play for West Ham and Chelsea. The Jimmy, let's go to McDonald's. That was Scott Parker in that advertisement. Do you remember Jimmy? Let's go to McDonald's. The little bastard's doing some kick-ups in a garden, in someone's garden. That was Scott Parker. I bet you remember
No,
the advertisement. Jimmy, the guy, it's just a kid, random white kid, little kid in an England top, I think, and he's doing kick-ups. He's about 9, 10, 11 or something.
no, I didn't see that. I don't remember that. I mean, I do remember a lot of sporting advertisements. You can't forget the iconic shredded wheat advertisements with Brian Clough. I'm going to get 100% out of each of you, and then he demands to know which bugger's eaten three. And if it weren't
Oh
Peter
yeah,
Shilton, it would be
fucking yeah,
Gary
I slightly
Lineker.
remember that, you know. I slightly remember that. Fucking shit. Yeah, someone had 3 or something, 2's enough for some bollocks. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, something rings a bell along that line.
Yeah, and also
Anyway,
Brian
right at the end of
Robson.
the game, shouts out to Lung Bergkamp because you couldn't even watch it. But mate, last minute and last chance saloons for England. Free kick.
Yeah, Luke Shaw. Will this be a sure thing? Left-footed, possibly into the penalty area, hoping to find a teammate. Who dares win? Come on, boys!
Woo!
And of all
As it came,
people,
mate. I don't know how actually far that was away, but I'll tell you what, for a minute, just for a second, I was miles away. Miles away. Miles away. Miles away.
the
That's
goal's on
pretty
the
pissed off.
Piccadilly, and he just headed that all the way down the Bakerloo line.
Literally.
Crying out loud.
Scalacci, mate. Oh, mate, I'll never forget Scalacci in Italia '90. I'm sure Arsenal's first running with no, that was Attilio Lombardo. Attilio Lombardo played for the Sampdoria team that done us 3-2 in Italy, but then we done them 3-2 at Highbury. No, we done them 3-2 at Highbury, and then we went to Italy, lost 3-2, and then done them on penalties. David Seaman was the hero of the night, saving a couple of
Yep,
penalties.
he saved from Attilio Lombardo.
What,
He
did
was a great...
Scalacci play that game? I don't know what made me think Scalacci could have been in that team. Was Scalacci in that Sampdoria team?
Let
I'm
me
not going to
take a
swear by
look.
it. I'm not going to swear by it.
Let me take a look. Salvatore Scalacci.
I think he pretty much blew up. I think he had a good season, and the Italian 90 might have been one of his first callings,
Nope,
Italy-wise.
nope. He was with Juventus while he was in Italia 90. He moved to Inter Milan until 1994. And then, just like Gary Lineker, of all people, he moved to Japan to play for a club called Jubilo Iwata, where he scored 58 goals in 86 league games. He
Huh.
played for Italy, only a few more games for Italy, but his last cap was in 1991. So it was basically a one tournament wonder. But hey,
Huh.
there are the memories.
There you go. There you go. Don't think I've ever said that before. Wenger in.
And the full-time whistle has indeed blown. Honours are even. The USA were arguably the better team, both coached by former internationals, of course. Christian Pulisic, obviously, with the best chance in that first half with a shot that rattled the crossbar with Jordan Pickford beaten hook, line and sinker. Harry Kane near the end with a header that went completely wide. No real shots on target. Nothing that... I mean, there was one shot on target. I believe it was Mason Mount, who forced Turner into a save in the first half. And so at full time, nothing separated them. A clean sheet for Matthew Turner, a clean sheet for Jordan Pickford, no goals for Harry Kane, and it finishes even Stevens 0-0.
Look, Bergkamp, I couldn't agree more. I don't know anyone who'd be saying Southgate should still be the manager after this tournament. They were very shaky before this tournament. But yeah, absolutely, and no joke, Danny. You and me would be better director of football than 90% of these wasters. But again, I couldn't agree more. As much as that sounds big-headed, mate, these people, seriously, a lot of them don't know what's going on. Or they say that they're too involved with other things like maybe what's going on politically at World Cups and worrying about that than rather than about the football on the pitch itself and getting the correct 11 together. Like, do you know what I mean? First of all, the best 26-man available squad that this country has to offer. I don't care who they are. Do you know what I mean? Including not letting people like Musiala's, and he's not the be-all and end-all. What I'm bitching at, and I'm not saying we would have won tonight with someone like him in our team. I'm just saying you don't let people slip through your net either. Do you know what I mean? This is meant to be a massive country here.
You know, but this is the problem, Danny. I mean, obviously, you know, when certain managers have their set 11 and their set players, it's effectively jobs for the boys. And as long as those boys continue to do the business, it's fine. But we saw, of course, with Wales that, you know, it was effectively jobs for the boys. But these two boys, including our very own Aaron Ramsey and, of course, Gareth Bale, ex-Tottenham, I think they were anonymous today against Iran, and they were rated the worst two players, even worse than Wayne Hennessy, who got sent off for his Jackie Chan impersonation. And many of these people who starred for Wales in Euro 2016 have, of course, had 6 years since then. Some of them have sort of lost their edge a little bit, and I think for some of them, they've done their dash with the Welsh national team, and I think they should probably retire. If Hennessy were to retire, it would be tragic. I think he might possibly stay on for another European campaign and then hand the gloves to Danny Ward permanently. Although I don't rate Danny Ward at all, and
No,
I'm sure if you remember.
I thought he's been dodgy at Leicester. I thought he was half the reason why Leicester looked dodgy this season.
Yeah, I mean, you remember when they played us at when they played us at the Emirates, he was at fault for Xhaka's goal, if you remember correctly.
There you go. Like
He
seriously,
was
I think Ward
diabolical
is a
earlier on the
pretty
season.
dodgy guy. It's shy,
Yeah.
don't buy me. Then we bought 250 million strikers in 6 months. I'm off, guys, now. Or guys, I've got 5 minutes left of the stream with Manny because, as you know, I've got a 10 p.m. live straight after, so I've got an hour literally before I go live again. After over a decade of not having a prolific striker, I'm buying midfielders every season. Exactly, bro. I was like, again, just not rocket science. Like, bro, how many years? Like, after Vieira left our club, like, I know this is going back quite a long time. We just didn't replace him. Like, I think then we tried to get like a 5'8" Song to replace him, even though he wasn't the worst footballer on earth. I'm just saying it still wasn't that sort of replacement. Then we tried Flamini at the role. Do you know what I mean? Francis Coquelin at the role. Like, fuck me. That's just not Patrick fucking Vieira, bruv. Flamini,
No, we had someone who was almost a dead ringer for him in Abu Dhabi. The only problem is that fellow was injured far too often for our liking. But boy, when he was fit, he looked good too.
What are you saying, Carl, my brother? You wouldn't thought filling the holes in your squad is common sense. That's apparently not. Exactly. And you know what I mean? That's why I say it's vital for Arteta now. Like, I'm sure he wouldn't. But imagine if he, like, actually in this January decided to get himself a right back or a left-footed centre-back, which we do need a left-footed centre-back. And eventually, for me, we do need a right back because Ben White, I don't like there. Tommy, he's not very mobile. But imagine he just went and bought a Denzel Dumfries or something just to fuck with me. Like, that isn't really going to excite me for trying to win the league. But anyway, surely not. Like, we've been linked with Mudrak, Danilo, and these are the sort of names we need to get done for me if we're to be at least having a proper shout at finishing first or second in this Premier League.
What's wrong with Dumfries? I mean, he's
no, he's a very good player. I'm saying we don't need a right back at this moment. There's two people there playing, and they're both, well, as far as we know, Tommy's fit. They're both fit and ready to go, hopefully, from after after the World Cup. So I'm saying it isn't urgent, mate. Central midfield is urgent. We've got two of them, bruvs. I don't really trust Lokonga. I don't really like El Neni as your backup. Do you know what I mean? We need something better. Simple as, bruvs. If we're trying to win a league, bruvs, you want to try and consolidate a top four, then possibly. Do you know what I mean? But even then, you're going to struggle if Lokonga has to come in for more than 1 or 2 games, bruvs. If Lokonga has to play 5, 6, 7 games in a row, bruvs, that could be fucking costly to Arsenal Football Club. January, February, March, etc. England have turned this group into a group of death. I know, just because they're shit, bruv. I know. Do you know what? It's so easy, friend. Like, just go win this game. You're qualified of a game to spare. Of course, England ain't going to go do that. Shouts out USA, innit? Hey, Matt Turner.
Guys, listen. I've told you all. Seeing how crap Wales are at the moment, I think I've told you they're going to be 26 lambs that are ready to be slaughtered come Tuesday. Fill your boots and just get it over with. Simple as that. Look. Even if Iran were to beat the US, they would finish with 2 wins and a loss. We'd have 2 wins and a draw. We'd go through. US and Iran will be the death matchup. If the US beats Iran, it'll be 1 win and 2 draws. We'll easily have 2 wins and a draw. We'll grow as group winners. So look, we're fine as far as qualifying as group winners are concerned. It's the next stages that worry that. Well, how can I say this? Worry the bejesus out of me. And that's me trying to restrain my speech.
Like, Harry Kane, I don't know to aim shots at him. Maybe just because he's a Tottenham player. England scores 6, he comes up with nothing. He scores nothing again. People saying Harry Kane's going to be top scorer of this tournament. Absolutely no way. Based on what I've seen in 2 games.
Why he took off Saka, I don't know. He should have taken off Kane for Rashford because Saka at least was doing a lot of good running. He was trying to make something happen. It was just that the US defense was so compact and very well organized. Berhalter should get credit for his organization tonight. He was outstanding. Not so tactically naive as he was against Wales.
Manny, I've got exactly 2 minutes to be out this building. Sorry, just saying, because I've got a 10 p.m. live. So go on, guys. Please give me and Manny. We've got 2 minutes left, literally. Shouts out to Manny for being on tonight's stream. Sorry to be rushing you off, Manny, but
let me see this. Scott Parker for England. Craig, no, you are taking the mickey. No, if he wasn't good enough for Craig or Fulham, he will never be good enough for England.
But then again, though, what did really Southgate do to get the England job? He was at Middlesbrough, and what?
Yeah.
What did he do? I don't know. Did he win it? I don't know. Did he do anything at Villa?
No, I think it was a case of basically promoting him from within because he was working with the England youth teams, obviously. And
That's probably
I think maybe England thought that he would be the type of person who would bring about a new era because after 2016, some of the older guys like Milner and a few others were sort of being phased out. So he could bring them through. Jobs for the boys. That answers your question. But I wouldn't mind seeing a foreign manager, and a lot of my mates and I are talking about this. If not Arsene Wenger, maybe Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel, isn't he a bit young to be a international manager? If there's such a thing, I get that, Craig. But yeah, sorry, don't you think Thomas Tuchel is more of a? I don't really know, to be honest with you, but don't you think he'd be more of a club manager? Wenger, doesn't this just suit him now? He's winding things down a couple of years, give 2-4 years to England.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. When it comes to managers who clearly believe that they're worth their chops, whether it's for club or country, it wouldn't really matter. I mean, obviously, take a look at Eriksson, for example. He had an extensive career managing in Serie A and a few other clubs, and then he came to manage England, of course. I mean, at Lazio, he was supposed to be pretty good. And so he was able to do pretty decently with our team, even if the quarterfinals were pretty much, the last hurdle for us. He couldn't take us further. But especially in light of that ridiculous Sergeant Major Fabio Capello, I would have gladly taken Eriksson back. And then
Jose Mourinho? Jose Mourinho?
No.
Jose Mourinho's for England, no?
Give the job to Tuchel. Craig, you are speaking my
language. Sorry, there you go. Give the go to. I'd say Wenger, guys. Yeah. I reckon we'll get through to the knockouts and go.
No, mate. Wenger has a cushy job with FIFA. He's now pretty much, retired for life. He doesn't need, the thing anymore. I think when you have that sort of a gap between managing a club and then coming back to manage at any level, it will be a little bit difficult. Who wins Iran versus the USA?
Go ahead, Manny. And then I'll give you my 10 pence on this.
I'm just thinking, because their striker, the number 20, I just can't figure out what his name is.
The guy from FC Porto, Tarami or something. He's pretty much their talisman. I think he's 30, 31. He's a very good striker. He's probably
he is, but I'm talking about the Iranian number 20 who also played today. He was replaced by the former Nottingham Forest striker Karim Ansarifard. I'm just going to take a look at the lineups right now. Thank God for BBC World. I could just go to the lineups immediately. What the hell was his name? He was actually benched for the first game of when Iran played England. Came back today and did quite well. What the hell is his name, man? Azmoun, yes. Sardar Azmoun. He is the leading striker in the Iranian squad. And if he's fit, he will certainly be a threat. You mentioned Taremi. He will also be good. Their midfielders, Golizadeh and Izzatullahi, are also really good threats going forward. And of course, Hosseini in goal was outstanding. I don't think Behrend Van will be coming back. The only problem is, seeing the way the US performed, they're also going to be determined to do well. I think they will probably need to beef up their front line. I think maybe the Sargent experiment might not have worked, so maybe bring on a new striker to come in, someone a bit more prolific. But it's difficult to say because I don't know if the US really have an established striker. I know Pulisic.
That's what I mean after that. Goals. Sorry, Manny, I have to slightly rush you into this because I'm back for 10 p.m. So sorry, Manny, who do you actually go for?
I'd say Iran. I think Queiroz will have the number over Berhalter.
So do you know what? This is what I mean. So for me, here's the thing, Yuri. USA have played Wales 1-1. They were the better team by quite a margin. For me, England, USA, very even first half. I think the second half was pretty much almost all America without being too dramatic on it. They've been the better team in both games, collecting only draws. If you're talking law of averages, I don't know. I think there will be goals in this game. We've said this a couple of times, but I think there will be a couple of goals. Iran can score. USA haven't really got a scorer, like Manny said, but I'm sure Musa, someone, and McKennie, someone from somewhere has got to give them their last hope at the World Cup. It's going to be interesting. I don't know why, again, I love a bit of a 2-2. Why does 2-2 come to my mind? I wonder how that leaves the group.
Well, a 2-2 draw will suit Iran just fine because that gives them 4 points. So
there you go. Hold on. So, do you know what? This is what I mean. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. I think USA will start the dominating thing, and then suddenly Iran could go 1-0 up. It gets all hectic. USA panic, a penalty, 1-1. Iran go 2-1 up. USA panic, 2-2, and then we have an almighty last 5-10 minutes to see who eventually qualifies. But I would go for a draw, and if Iran go through, I think Iran will pretty much deserve it. Barring the England game, which I don't know if they just wasn't on song because England weren't amazing, but they got the job done. That's what I'm going to say. But who knows? Maybe it was political. Who knows? A lot of pressure. People not singing national anthems. A lot of other spotlights being on them. I don't know. If they're given the chance to play football like perhaps they did today, who knows? They're half decent. Do you know what I mean? Hence, hashtag Tarami. On that note, though, guys, I'm literally going to be streaming again in 55 minutes. So shouts out to everyone in the chat. Craig, Lumberkamp, Yui, Linda, Yui again, Hanyumi, Hazza, myself, Daddy AFC TV, Manny the Man, Lumberkamp, all the real ones, Kyle, guys, I can't name you all, Craig, because Rodney the Plunker, guys, because Hanyumi, whoever John that fucker of a stalker was, just shouts out to you all. Shouts out to Tyler, you're an absolute real one. Big Ted, T Muller, Linda, all the real ones. Any final thoughts, Manny? But I'm going to literally tell you, you got to wrap it up in 30 seconds. So I want to go give myself a drink.
Any final thoughts? All I will say is, Southgate, if you don't get a win against Wales, forget about going all the way. It won't be coming home unless you really turn it on when you need to turn it on.
Well, there you go. And hold on, who will win the Golden Boot?
And finally, Kane, if you don't score in the next game, you're out. Rashford in.
Wow, there you go. That's a ballsy one though. Who will win the Golden Boot? Mbappe, I'm going for. The problem is with Mbappe, if he plays a good team, he needs a couple of chances to score. But do you know what? I'm going Mbappe as well, as much as I criticise him. You got enough time to get down best Turkish, G. I wish I did, bruv, but I don't live nowhere near close enough to best Turkish no more, bruvs. Haven't you heard? Enner Valencia, the GOAT, will win the World Cup single-handedly. Bruvs, he has looked pretty good. Sassedo helps him out. And they've got that other guy, the guy that scored. I can't remember his name. He was pretty... what's that weird name? It's the who?
Estepinian.
That's the one. Very good. Valencia, very good. Salcedo, workhorse. They've got a lot of good players. UE, real ones. I hope you're all back in about 50-55 minutes. Against England, they look nervous today. They bossed it. I think they totally bossed it. This whole second half, brother, I think was all USA, without being dramatic about it, as I say. Without peppering Pickford, I think possession-wise, USA had England's card pretty much. And I think
he was talking about Iran there. He was talking about Iran. He said against England, they looked nervous. But today...
yes. Today they bossed it. Yeah, most definitely.
And also Wales were awful. I mean, from what I saw of them, they couldn't even string two passes together if they were standing next to one another. It was disgraceful. And,
yeah.
I mean, I love Wales. I mean, I may be an England fan first and foremost, but the British patriot in me wants all British Isles teams to do well, which is why I was delighted for Wales when they made the semi-finals. But today they were absolutely diabolical. And I don't think they deserve to go further.
Just shows without them two players, who the F is Kiefer Moore, who is Ampadu, do you know what I mean? I couldn't really name many more, or I could name a lot more of them, but I mean, with all respect, I think they're all championship players. But on that note, we are out the stream, people. Shouts out to yourselves, big up all yourselves. I'll be back in under an hour. So listen, literally, I'm just going to go check some Arsenal news and I'll be back. Guys, peace out, man. Respect, good night. And England, wow. Southgate, out, Wenger in.